we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado. This is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
Everybody, welcome back into Discussion Combustion. It's episode 85. You know, we've been in this for a little bit. We have Avi in here today from Bulow Jewelers. Is that what it is?
Bulow Jewelers.
There it is.
Let's go.
And we're very excited. This is an anticipated episode. Because we had you booked. We had you booked for a minute, and then, you know, I'm happy you came through COVID strong.
Yep.
And you're in here, man. Happy New Year. So we're excited. We've been excited for this one. And if you guys are out there and you're excited to get your legs moving or have activities, definitely visit Wild Outdoor Adventures. That's WOAMEET.com.
That's right, guys. It's a free and easy to use website. You've heard us talk about them weekly, doing tremendous things, bringing people together, you know, getting them away from the screens and getting them outdoors. That's what the whole mission of this company is. Hope for teens, hope for veterans, hope for singles. You just moved to Colorado, you want to get outdoors. This is a great way to do it. You can start a blog over there. You can set up a page for free. If you're a Colorado entrepreneur and you own a small business, you can put that on there as well to connect with others.
Absolutely.
So it's you know, a lot of resources available with WOA, but the main mission is to get people outside. We know it's been tough with COVID. Sure, it's a little cold right now, but it doesn't mean you can't sign up, you know, talk with some people, connect with some people, talk about some outdoor gear, learn a few things along the way. It doesn't cost anything but your time, you know. They're on all social media platforms. See some of the hikes they've done on YouTube. Wild Outdoor Adventures, man, they got you covered.
Yeah, and I mean, Kevin really covered it all, but, you know, if you're curious about Colorado and you're interested in this state and you want to do something that's COVID friendly and talk about it prior to doing it, this is a great place to get comfortable with that sort of approach to, you know, seeing the world. And, you know, it's going to keep going, and that's less dreaming and more exploring. Discussion Combustion is also brought to you by Made CBD. For your active, crystal clear CBD, go to mountainmade.life.
That's right, man. That's that CBD fuel that you need to succeed. You know, it's for that activated lifestyle or the regular lifestyle. These guys are constantly tweaking and innovating their product. We love it. I've been taking the Combat every day, taking the Recover at night to help me get some rest. Great stuff, man. You know, a lot of people didn't like the Magnolia, so Mountain Made said, all right, we'll tweak that, and we'll add a little chamomile now.
Yeah.
So these guys are working on their product, man. Everything you need in the CBD industry, you're going to find it at mountainmade.life.
And they have the new Defend?
Defend is out.
So that's elderberry.
It's elderberry, 25 milligrams CBD plus elderberry to keep your immune system ripping, tater chipping.
I'm excited for that one.
Combat, so you're combating the day. You know, it's like your multivitamin plus CBD.
I still do the boost on my, you know, 2 o'clock lowdown, like getting me those electrolytes, you know.
Yeah.
Boost up the day.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I know my dad just bought some. You know, we got people doing auto pay, auto ship. That's a great feature as well.
Auto discount.
Bundle and save, guys. You've heard it. It's no different. You know, put it in there each month. What do you need? Well, you're going to need a little bit of build, boost, recover, combat, puff. Maybe you have some furry friends. CBD for dogs.
Does the dog have arthritis? Yes.
Dogs have arthritis.
Dogs.
CBD eases their pain. Glucosamine. CBD, it really is tremendous, man. People say, well, I don't feel anything from CBD. You know, they're expecting a euphoric feeling. Well, you know what? It's not always about what you're feeling. It's what you don't feel.
Yeah.
Easing the pain, easing the stress, you know, easing the upset stomach, helping you get rest. That's the mission of CBD, and Mountain Made crushes it.
They do a great job, and that is hashtag go like hell.
Go like hell, baby. Let's jump into
Yes.
this thing, man. This is episode 85.
Avi.
Anticipated, man. There's been a build-up for this one.
Yeah, I felt bad that I had to cancel with I had an exposure and I didn't want to, you know, put anyone at risk. And then a few days later, I got COVID. So
Man,
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
a good thing you took those precautions,
Yeah.
and I'm glad to hear that you made a full recovery.
yeah, I was very lucky. It was very mild, and not everybody's as lucky, but I got pretty fortunate. So
What
it
did
was a few days of like a cold and a fever.
Okay.
And really that was all. And I just had to quarantine, which felt like way too long because it was a full 10 days. But I felt like I should have been back at work at, you know, day 3 or 4. You know, I had a little shortness of breath the first few days, but I also thought that might have been, you know, psychosomatic and you know, I got COVID. Oh no.
Panic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's always been my thought on it, because if I were to test positive, I feel like anxiety would take over.
Totally. Yeah.
Because I would get tested regularly.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I have a fever. I'm about to die.
Really?
This
Is
is
that
the
your
beginning of the
initial
end.
feeling?
Yeah. Also, at the beginning of the pandemic, my brother is a virologist. He has his PhD in virology, and so him and all his PhD friends started a book club, which he's like, hey, you should join this, and this will be a lot of fun. So we started reading pandemic books, and we read a couple different ones, and they were all. We read one about the Georgia flu, which is this flu that basically you're exposed to it, and 6 hours later, you die. And so, you're hearing all this and we're being super careful washing our hands, right? This is in like March, April. We're being so careful with everything. And then, we're like, okay, well, I guess it's not that contagious, but it is super contagious. So we do have to be careful and wear masks but as soon as I got it, I was like, oh no, like this could be it.
Yeah.
But I was lucky that it wasn't.
Because I've heard about those flus in like South Asia, where like if a mosquito gets you, like, it could be a couple days, and then like the cold sweats come in, and then it's like very deadly and can kills a lot of people. I forget the name of that specific.
There's a lot of mosquito-borne illnesses. I was actually just listening to the radio this morning, and they said there's about 1 million mosquito-borne illnesses deaths annually. 1 million people die from mosquito illnesses. West Nile. What's some of the other ones? I can't think of at the moment. Was Zika? Zika was a big one.
Yeah.
You forget about those things,
Yeah.
man. I mean, you can cover yourself in bug spray, but
malaria
you're still...
and
malaria.
there's a couple other ones too. Yeah.
Pretty much anything that you can carry in blood.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to think about, man. I didn't realize that the death rate was that high for mosquito-borne illnesses.
Right. It was kind of interesting. I called my brother and I said, tell me about this whole COVID thing. And this was early, March, and like, how serious is all this before quarantine or anything started? And he actually got with John of all trades, and they went through a little podcast, and he kind of explained what it was, and it was really interesting to listen to that and hear his expertise and take on it. But one of the things he told me, which I thought was fascinating, was, AIDS is a virus that we still haven't come up with a vaccine for. And so he told me, he's like, we're not necessarily going to have a vaccine within the year or two. And the fact that we have something now is incredible. And, it's kind of a miracle.
It could have taken, a decade.
But it's kind of a shot in the dark after shot in the dark. And then, you have to do a bunch of medical trials. And so the fact that we have two is kind of astounding.
Yeah, it is amazing, man. Yeah. I think there's still a lot of research and development to be done on it.
Yeah, we're in the early phase for sure.
Being that they consider me an essential worker in the grocery field, so we've kind of been pushed to the front of the list. I'm just still not. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I really don't. I think I've said that on here before. I don't necessarily trust it yet. I haven't seen enough data. I've seen mixed reactions from people. I know some people think I'm reckless and endangering people by not taking it. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do yet, but I don't want to take it. I will tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. A lot of people have a lot of concerns.
Oh, yeah.
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 It's understandable. You're putting something in your body.
Yeah.
And if, it's still, there's so many variations to how the human body works.
Yeah.
So it's, one vaccine to help all is not tangible. There's going to be, and what if you're one of those people that like it doesn't work well with? Like
right.
you don't know. Everything's a risk, but then you risk getting COVID and then getting people around you sick too that you care about.
Risk,
so there's all these different risks,
right.
So you have to weigh your risk ratio.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be the guy that gives it to somebody else that gives it to their grandmother or their parent, and
sure.
So yeah. And thankfully there are people a lot smarter than we all are, and they're in charge of developing these and doing the trials and so if I always defer to my brother on this stuff, right? If it's a jewelry question, he calls me, and if it's it's a science question, it's right to my brother. But he said to me, as soon as they offer it to you, take it. He said, there's no risks. He's like, you're going to be fine. He's like, if you had COVID already and you have the antibodies, then maybe you don't need it. But if you don't have the antibodies, so you should get tested for antibodies. And if you don't have the antibodies, I would definitely consider it. And if you wanted to talk to somebody like a virologist, I would be happy to connect you with my brother.
Oh, I might have to do that, man.
But yeah.
Because that is one of the next things I want to do on my list. I've been getting tested regularly, making sure I'm good to go, doing this every week, working in the grocery business. I want to make sure.
Which test do you do?
I do the nasal swab.
Yeah.
I haven't done the saliva or some of the others.
Yeah.
But I've gotten used to it. The first one was a little rough, and some of them make me want to sneeze, but it's doable.
Yeah.
I tear up.
Yeah, I do too. Some of them go so deep, and then some of them are shallower, and you're just like, and
you're like, please let me get the shallow.
Right, and I think I've taken 3 or 4, and like my last one that I actually had COVID was like the least invasive. They just kind of went in there a little bit, and they're like, all right, you're done. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, the last lady tortured me.
Yeah, I was picking your brain.
Right, exactly.
Stay still, sir. Stay still.
Jamming it in
right.
there.
Oh, that wasn't a good one. Right. We got to do it again. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm dying here.
I know.
No, you're right. It does
I know.
depend
I was
on
all
the
like leaning
tester.
in my car. My eyes are closed. I'm tearing up.
Right. Tearing up. You got to hold that sneeze back, or you want to cough,
I know.
and you're just like, I can't cough. I might have COVID. I don't want to get you.
Yeah.
I'm sure a vast majority of people around the world can sympathize with what we're saying
And
right
I'm
now.
sure the testers have seen a lot of different
Yeah.
reactions amongst people. Some people don't like anything.
Yeah, no question.
They get nervous.
I went to a really good friend of mine's wedding in September. So Labor Day weekend, he was having his wedding, and so we decided to just my wife and I decided I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be careful and do all the necessary precautions. And whenever I go anywhere, I hunt for bourbon. It's kind of one of the things I do. So I'm always extra excited to go out of state because that gives me a new opportunity to go to the local liquor stores and see what they have. But when I came back from that trip, I made sure to take a COVID test. And actually, this was a Boston trip. I got to visit my brother, who's in Boston right now. And then we drove to New Hampshire.
That's where I'm from.
I know. And I actually, on the way, I got a bottle on the way. So this was in Boston. And it was Cappy's. So I don't know if you're familiar with Cappy's. But
Here, put it back on them so they could see it. Here,
So-
hold it up one more time so they can see the label.
Sure. So this is a
Yeah.
Cappy store pick. So right now, so kind of a good segue. So I'm really into bourbon, and I brought 4 bottles of Eagle Rare 10-year, but they are all completely different, and they're all store picks, which means that the store goes down to Eagle Rare, and they get to taste all different barrels and buy the barrel that they think tastes best.
Okay.
And then bottle that up, and then it's exclusive for their store. So this bottle of Eagle Rare
that's really
will
cool.
not taste like any other bottle of Eagle Rare because it's unique to that. So basically, the stores get to go out and pick the barrels, and then everything they have left over gets bottled into just the regular Eagle Rare, and then it doesn't come with the shiny silver medallion.
It does not.
Does not. So
Okay.
if it comes with a shiny silver medallion, it usually indicates there's a store. So this is Cappy's. Then we got a Philnor Liquor, which is a great liquor store, and I definitely promote shopping local.
For
And this
sure.
is on Sims and Colfax. Dan is the owner there, and he's a great guy. Everybody knows about Argonaut, but this is an Argonaut store pick, and they probably pick more than one because they're just an enormous pick. And then I also have a Molly's. So I think we should
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, we
I'm
should,
ready
we
to do a
should,
taste
we
test.
should taste a few
Yeah,
of these.
I think that's awesome that you
came
brought
prepared.
those in, man. That's nice.
Yeah, this is gonna be nice. Avi showed up. He's got whiskey glasses for us, 4 bottles on the table. This is a DCPC first here, doing a little whiskey tasting.
It is.
I'm kind of excited about this. Now,
I
so are
actually
we
do
starting?
this- I do this with some of my clients too. Like they come
Really?
in and I'm like, if people
a
are
nice
nervous
touch.
shopping for diamonds and buying
You're like,
engagement
"Here, have a
rings,"
whiskey."
I'm like, hey, let's
drink whiskey.
Right, let's have a conversation. What are you trying to achieve? I'll try to help you get there, and let's relax a little. And let me take you on this whiskey tour. And sometimes I get a little carried away, and I'm more excited about the whiskey than about the jewelry. But we circle back and we get there.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, here.
So the first
Thank
one we're
you.
gonna try here? Thanks, man.
Yeah. So the first one we're gonna try here. So again, this is Eagle Rare 10-year,
Gotta
and
get
this is Argonaut.
Argonaut.
This is their Argonaut stores pick.
So- Yeah, I don't want to get too close to the mic and yell into it.
Yeah.
So yes, this is an Argonaut store pick.
Ooh.
And so this will have a little caramely flavor.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first thing I noticed was a little bit of sweetness when it touched my tongue.
Oh yeah.
A little
yeah,
sweet.
That's like the
Oh yeah,
It smells
yeah.
good, tastes
that
good.
one does have some sweetness to it.
that's the bourbon thing, the sweetness. It's not Scotch, but yeah,
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not hating that.
yeah. Argonaut does a good job. There's a bunch of good guys down there.
So how'd you originally get hooked up with these guys and or find their whiskey?
So with Eagle Rare,
Yeah.
so Eagle Rare is just a great bottle for the money. It used to be like $23. Now it's like $35, but it's become so rare that it's hard to find them in regular stores. You can't
Really?
just walk into a store and buy an Eagle Rare, let alone a store pick. You can't find an Eagle Rare anymore.
And this is a
So-
Kentucky blend or a Kentucky bourbon.
Yep. So you'll walk into a liquor store and you'll ask them for Eagle Rare, and some guys will just be like, "Oh, sorry, man, like we don't have any." And then
not
once in a
available.
while you'll find a bottle, but it usually won't be a store pick. So when a store has a store pick, I make sure I buy it. And I actually have like
Yeah.
7 or 8 of them at home. And
So do you buy several when you see them?
when I see that, I don't. I buy one. Because I feel like it's selfish of me to buy. There's a whole secondary
It's like
market
the
and a
toilet paper
bourbon trend.
hoarders.
Kind of, yeah. And so there's a lot of people out there that when they see a good bottle of bourbon, they're just going to clean the store out. And I don't
Yeah.
feel like that's fair. So I buy my bottles. I open every single one I buy. And if it's really good, I'll go back and try to get another one. But
Okay,
sometimes I
cool.
don't get around to opening it for a week. And by then, it's gone.
They're gone.
They're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, so I try to remember to go back and pick it up if I can. I'm a huge fan of some of our local stores. So when Phil Knorr had it, I asked. I was like, "Hey man, could I get 2 bottles?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course. You can take 3."
So you're familiar with like 10th Mountain?
Oh yeah,
Division?
yeah, sure.
That's a little plug for them, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, I went up there
was
in Vail, and
yeah,
and
Did
talked
you
to the
sit in
guy.
the pit? Did you sit in the picturesque window, like the big one?
I don't. No, I didn't because I was sitting at
Okay.
the bar. It was at night, so I don't think I
Okay.
would have seen a view anyway.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it was cool though, and the guy was really chatty. I wonder
Yeah.
if we had the same guy.
Taller guy.
Yeah. Kind of slim build.
Yep.
I think it was the same guy. So okay, quick story.
I felt bad before you start. So he goes, "What would you like to drink?" And I said, "Something without rye." And he kind of's like, "Everything has rye in it." I'm like, "Oh shit." Yeah.
That's funny. So so there was a family that when we were up there, that was like their last stop, and then they had to fly back to California or something. And parents, daughters, a couple kids, and then they leave, and then like 2-3 minutes later, like we notice a nice looking little satchel bag, a little leather one. And we're like, oh God, like did the lady forget her purse? Like, do they know? Are they going to be able to make their flight? Like, what's going on?
Oh,
And
no.
so we were all invested in this, and and so it took some time. And then the guy that we're talking about, he's like, well, let me see if I can find him. I'm like, dude, I saw him walk that way. So he runs across the bridge. He like goes, and we're all kind of like seeing what's going on. And then he gets back. He's like, nothing, man. I couldn't find nothing.
Oh
And
no.
so we waited a while, and then eventually we just we're kind of curious to what's happening. But then he just comes up to our table and puts the bag on the table. It's my girlfriend and myself. So he's like, all right, I need extra party eyes on this while we do this. And so he opens up the purse. My girlfriend knows everywhere to look. And then fortunately, it's a bunch of like crayons and stuff. Like it was the daughter's bag.
Oh, really?
So we were all nervous for like a good 15
Yeah,
minutes.
you can never open that bag.
Yeah.
That's like Pandora's box. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go, guys.
What's in here?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna find.
Right.
So yeah, 10th Mountain though, they do have some good stuff. So
Yeah, 10th Mountain's great.
Right.
My buddy, so we were actually there together, and my buddy saw their snowboard that had their logo on it, and it was really cool. And he's like, "Hey, man, how much for the snowboard? It's pretty dope."
Mm-hmm.
And these guys like, "I don't know, I'll give it to you for a few $100s." And he's like, "Sold." He's like, "Just add it to our tab." He's like, "Okay."
Damn.
nice.
So yeah, he has a 10th Mountain snowboard now, and or skis. It was actually skis.
Skis.
It was pretty cool.
This is really good too. I only had their cider when I was up there.
Yeah.
so
yeah,
actually
I had their
having-
cider too. That was really good.
Cider went down easy.
Yeah.
Kind of warmed the soul a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a hard cider or just that warm cider?
Hard cider.
Hard cider. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had to
They
pick.
poured out of that little barrel, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
The little like what those mountain dogs carry when they save people. They like carry like the little wooden barrels.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So they have a miniature barrel. It probably holds a few gallons. I'm guessing 2 or 3 gallons,
Yeah.
and they mix it in that, and they let it sit. And also the wood adds to it a little bit
There's a little
too, so it
flavor.
adds some flavor, and they distribute out of there, which is pretty cool.
I've never had hard cider out of a barrel. I can tell you that. I've had a few, canned or bottled. It's a little kind of bitter, sour tasting for me. I like apple cider, but the hard cider gives me agita, gives me that heartburn.
Yeah.
I suffer from GERD anyway, so that's from drinking too much. But
Yeah.
we all know that.
Right.
Well, you're getting better.
Well, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to help with that. Sorry.
Oh, you know
Yeah,
what?
not tonight,
This is
yeah.
a whiskey night right here.
And then
like
when I
this.
have you in the store, we have a bar that is way too big and way too nice for, or actually the bottle's not the actual bar, but the bottle's way too nice for a small little store like I have. But I really enjoy sharing what I have. And so when a client walks in, one of the first questions when we sit down, we're like, "Hey, do you like bourbon?" And if the answer is yes, I'm like, "Great, we're going to be best friends."
Yeah.
Right? Like
We're off to a good start.
internal thoughts. But then I say like, "Oh, I have a whole bourbon bar. Like, let me
Do you
let me
have
offer
like
you."
alternative drinks for anybody else, or is it all?
I do. I
bourbon?
have tequila.
Okay.
I have a bunch of scotch too. Some
Yeah.
really nice scotch, and a lot of clients bring in bottles as like a thank you, thank you so much for taking care of me, walking me through this whole process, and we'll sometimes lend jewelry out for a wedding or something like that. So one of my friends will, when I lent his bride and his mother-in-law and some of the other family members some jewelry, he bought me a beautiful bottle of scotch. It was a King Alexander III. Just way too nice of a gift, and so I get to share that when people come in.
Oh,
and
that's
then-
nice.
So like, there's some really nice stuff that I have that.
That's nice that you keep it for future guests, opposed to
Yeah.
being like, man, this is really nice. This is
Take it
going
at
in my-"
home.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty selfless of you to do that.
Yeah, hopefully my wife won't watch this, and or at least this much of it. But
She
one of
skips
the
through,
right,
like
one of the
everybody
things
does.
I
You skip
do,
through.
right, exactly. One of the things I do is if I have a kind of I don't have a drinking problem, I have a buying problem. I love buying bourbon. If there's a bottle I haven't seen before,
Yeah.
I'll buy it just to try it. And then so my collection has grown to multiple hundreds of bottles, and so I kind of break it up with my store stash and my home stash.
Okay.
And then my work wife, Stephanie, will yell at me, be like, another bottle? You need another bottle? And then I'm like, well, this is kind of a unique. She's like, you have 4 of those. I'm like, yeah, but this is a different store pick, or this is a different year, different vintage.
This one has the label.
This one, yeah.
And then I'll bring something home, and my wife was like, really? So I try to, like, I have to pace it. Where do I bring one? Where do I bring the other? And if I'm not sure, I just leave it in the car. It's not even worth it to argue with either of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
That's funny.
it's
more
my
of
cross I bear.
Yeah. The hobby / collection.
As long as you
Totally.
recognize it, that's the most
I
important
do,
part.
But it's not a drinking problem.
It's
a
not a
buying-
drinking
it's a
problem.
buying
It's a
problem.
buying
It's a
problem.
buying
I
problem.
don't drink too much.
That's good.
A lot of
I'll
people are
probably
addicted to
drink.
buying, and other, maybe it's
But
not
it's-
bourbon, maybe it's something else.
It's like you're a collector
It's a
almost.
collection, yeah.
And you want to try and see the best of everything. And
Yeah.
so I enjoyed that first batch. I'll tell you
It's a
that.
connoisseur. Yeah, you're a connoisseur. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys have finished that. So
Oh, yeah.
while you're picking out the next
We're gonna
one,
stay local and go Fillnor next.
Okay.
So we did Argonaut. Now we're gonna go Fillnor.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll see it's a whole different palette.
So we went Argonaut was first. Now we're going Fillnor. I'm learning this terminology as we go.
Do you want me to pass it to you, or
Sure.
yeah?
Just pop it up here.
Here, you pour me a
Set it down.
pour me a little glass there, Artie. So this one, what should we expect on this palette?
So I don't remember this one as clearly as I should, because
Okay.
the last time I had this was with my friend Patrick, and we drank way too much. And
So you got a little sideways on this one.
we got.
That's a good
you
indication,
could tell,
though.
right? It's kind of empty. It's
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
only
say that
that's
one. That
empty.
one's the least full.
So yeah, we actually our
We're gonna
wives.
try a little bit more of this one then. if
Yeah.
it's
We don't know yet.
Well,
no, but I'm just basing it on the bottle here.
which is very smart of you, but actually, well, I guess I'll tell you later. But if you turn the bottles over and you look at the bottom of it, there's different color stars on it.
Okay.
So what our wives did, so my wife is Joy and his wife is Nicole, and so Joy and Nicole had us go into a different room, and they labeled each bottle with a star, and then they poured each one into a glass, and then we had to like rank. We tried like 3, and then we brought a 4th one in, and then we had to rank each one, and so I'm curious to see what you guys think about this one. I'll tell you where it ranked. So this
Okay.
compared to the first one we did. Let's see.
All right, let's give it a taste, man.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got going on here. This is the
Cheers.
Which one is this called
This is
again?
Fillnor.
Fillnor. Okay.
Fillnor.
Yeah, Sims
Got it.
and Colfax.
Okay.
Ooh. It's got a rich aroma.
This one has
Ooh,
less
this got a
sting.
got a
It's
little-
like less
Less sweet.
less bite too.
It's got a little bit of more of an
Smoother.
aftertaste.
It's kind of almost a little blander. Doesn't
it's
have the
smoother.
same
Yeah, it's
punch.
not quite
Doesn't
as-
and doesn't have kind of the same flavor palette that some of the other ones do. But it's really smooth and really good. And now remember, each time a buyer goes to a store to pick one, he's trying to, he or she, or they're using their palate to determine what their customers are going to like, but it's usually what they like.
Yeah.
And it's something that I do with jewelry as well. And so Stephanie and myself buy all the jewelry for our store. And when we're merchandising, we have to think, not what do we like, what do our customers like to buy? So we'll look at what has sold, and then we'll try to
see, that
focus on
makes
that.
sense.
But for bourbon, it's kind of different, because you're buying a store pick, which is super unique, and you are almost guaranteed that every single bottle will sell it within a week, which is so unique and rare. Like, there's nothing in my industry that I could put on my shelf and say,
It's gonna be gone in a week.
don't worry about this one. This is
Yeah.
going to be gone in a week. Like, I can't even fathom something like that. Like, oh, we got all these tennis bracelets in, and within a week these will all be gone, because people love these.
I mean,
Sure.
people love to drink, man. And, it's celebratory.
Yeah.
It's a way to bond, get together. It's a way to relax.
Well, it can
Maybe
become
during a transaction.
whatever you're into, because beer drinkers, wine drinkers, a lot of people get excited about wines.
Yeah.
They have a wine cellar.
Wines are fun.
The bourbon is.
Do you like wine as well?
I do. I'm not very sophisticated in my wine.
I don't like wine.
enjoyment.
It's bitter. I feel like.
You know what's funny? I like the more bitter wine. Like, if it has that, like, the dry, more of like a cab, like I'll really enjoy that. But a sweeter or more complex, like, it's kind of over my head. But I've started to enjoy it more. I have a friend that's really into it, so he's trying to convert me, but I think I've actually successfully converted him to bourbon. So now
That's
he
hilarious.
owns a nursing home in Wyoming, so whenever he goes there, he bourbon hunts now, and he'll call me and be like, "Hey, Avi, what is this, a good bottle?" And so, yeah.
So going forward, if I need to know about bourbon, I know,
you just call
I know
me.
who to call.
It's just a quick call.
Or
Yeah.
jewelry for that matter.
That's right.
Because that's gonna be the next step. I'm gonna have to cruise down to your store and see what's going on down
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
So if you could only wear one piece of jewelry for the rest of your life,
My wedding band. I
No,
want to stay
rings,
married to
rings,
my wife forever.
rings not included.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no rings included. And is our watches jewelry?
Oh yeah, watches are man's jewelry.
Yeah.
I mean, to me it's the easiest jewelry. As you can tell, I don't wear necklaces. I don't wear bracelets. Which, and a lot of, jewelry owners that, I'm part of this, large, it's called IJO, and there's about 800 members, and there's one member per city, but you can be like, you could be in Pueblo, or you can be, so you can have smaller cities, and they'll all be part of this group, and a lot of the jewelers will say, you own a jewelry store, you gotta wear jewelry, or else your customers are not gonna see you wear jewelry. How are they gonna buy jewelry? And I'm just like, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I am here, we're high in value. I'm here because I really know what I'm doing in my field. And if you want to get educated and make a smart decision and buy something and spend your money wisely, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I think John or somebody asked me, they're like, are you passionate about jewelry? I said, not really. I mean, I think jewelry is fascinating and it's interesting and I appreciate the beauty of it, but I like people. And I like interacting with people and helping people, and really, people come in and they get engaged, and I get to be a small part of that journey.
That's nice.
Awesome. Like, we sit down and we tell people, like, okay, like, it's not just about the place that you propose, it's about what you say when you propose. So it's not just, you don't get on your knee on a hot air balloon and just say, will you marry me? Yeah, it's cool. How'd you propose? It was on a hot air balloon, dude. It was epic. It's, what did you tell your girlfriend? And what did you tell? What message did you convey when you proposed? And so when you say how special she is and tell her how much you love her, I think that's what makes the proposal so great. If you say, I love how outgoing you are and selfless, and I love your sense of adventure and your sense of humor, or whatever it is about your significant other that you love so much. You say that to them, and then you turn that. I call that your proposal speech. So I kind of coach guys through that process, and then they get engaged, and then they get married, and then they have kids, and I get to witness the whole thing, and it's the coolest industry ever. Like, what other industry?
I've never sold jewelry. I've pretty much sold any and everything. Really? But I haven't sold jewelry. That's like one of the only things I haven't touched.
But it's such a connection.
Yeah,
like, you go through like this trial with somebody. They're like, okay, here's a small pebble that is worth thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. How do I evaluate this, and why am I putting so much value on this? And we take them through the 4 C's, and that's the basics, and then we get really into it. I had this couple come in today. I felt so bad. They bought a diamond on an online website, and they just got taken. And I explained to them, I was like, the reason this is the cheapest diamond on the internet is because it's the cheapest diamond on the internet, because it's deep, so it holds all of its weight in its belly, right? It doesn't have any spread to it. It's really bad clarity. It's right in the center, and you can see it easily. It's a lower color. It has fluorescence to it, which is strong. And if they watch this, I hope they don't mind me sharing their story. I won't say their names, but I think they're going to return the stone, and I'm happy to help them find the new stone on Blue Nile. I could work with them and show them my process, but I think part of my job is to educate. And so we were going to set the stone for them in a ring. And he was like, well, I bought a 1 carat diamond, and 1 carat moissanite was in this ring. Can I just swap them out? And I kind of explained, well, you bought a stone that's a lot smaller in millimeter size than this diamond. That's the same carat weight. But since the millimeter is different, right? It's like talking about somebody. If you say, oh, how big is your buddy? And you're like, oh, he's 200 pounds. And you're like, oh, how tall is he? Oh, he's 5'5". Oh, he's a small dude and he's big, right? And how big is that guy? And you're like, oh yeah, he's 6'5". How much does he weigh? 125 pounds. The guy doesn't weigh anything. We're not being descriptive at all by asking the first question. You need so much more information. Same thing about diamonds. If you say I have a 2 carat diamond,
that makes sense.
Okay, like what's the measurement? Like what are some of the other information to fill me in on what we're actually looking at? So that's what I do, and I educate, and then I try to educate my clients enough where they don't have to trust me. They kind of know what they're talking about. So they go to another store and they're like, yeah, I'd rather go back to Avi and buy from him. I'm like, great, like I did my job well, and that's how we've been successful. And all those
caring,
referrals.
It sounds like it's just caring and
people
having respect in your heart and good intentions. You know, people,
Which is what you guys are
people
about.
can feel that. Yeah, people can
Yeah,
feel that
people
though.
can feel that.
And
It does
important.
make a big difference for sure.
And there's a
Especially
yeah. Well, sorry. There's just a lot of pillars of light out there, man. And I feel like you're one of them, man.
oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
You know, it's
doing how you explain.
it's a business that can be stressful for a lot of people. I can imagine. I'm sure a lot of people show up at the store. You know, they're getting ready to do engagement or they're buying something for somebody. It's a big purchase. They're nervous. They're anxious. You know, they don't know what's going on. I'd be the same way. I don't know a lot about jewelry. So if I came in, they're getting ready to make a big purchase. I don't know where to start. So, you know, customer service goes a long way. When you got a guy that's, you know, let's have a bourbon, you know, I'll talk you through it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it was like Alec, a guy we had on a couple weeks ago from the Denver Gun Factory. He does the same with his, you know, with his customers, with people that come in. It's not just selling them a gun, it's educating them. It's taking the time to build the
What are
trust.
you looking for? For what?
Yeah.
What's the purpose? What
Exactly.
are you doing? Yeah.
That makes the
exactly.
difference though than a mainstream kind of jeweler situation, I feel like.
Yeah.
Not even knowing that business, just customer service, I feel like goes a long way.
Yeah.
It's something we've gotten away from. I feel like it's slipped through the cracks a little
Yeah,
bit. You know,
and it's really interesting because the business keeps evolving, and it's been a business that has kind of been stuck in its ways for a long time. And you go to a jewelry store and it's an older store, and usually the employees are older and the owner is older, and so to have a store with kind of a younger vibe to it and you know, a different approach, it's refreshing for a lot of people, but also we get to bring a new perspective to the industry. So the new thing in the jewelry industry, lab diamonds. You know, how much do people know about lab diamonds? Is it taboo? You know, is that a synthetic diamond? So like nobody really knows what we're talking about. It's a lab diamond. A lab diamond is a diamond. And my guess is in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, lab diamonds and natural diamonds will be selling for about the same price. And people will just decide, do they want to make, you know, a more environmentally conscious decision and pick something that, you know, has a much smaller impact on the environment? Or do they want something that, you know, is natural and is mined and, you know, Mother Earth gave it to them? So I think there's going to be two types of people. But now lab diamonds are way less expensive than natural diamonds because I think they're trying to normalize it. And I don't know if the technology has gotten to a point where it just allows us to sell it for this price. My hunch is we're trying to normalize it as an industry, and then once it's normalized, they're going to be like, all right, we're bringing it back up, and we're saying, okay, now you can choose which one you want, because
I've never heard about lab diamonds before.
that's the first I've heard of it.
lab diamonds. So there's two types of lab diamonds.
How new is it? How new of a thing is this?
I think it's pretty old, actually.
Really?
I think they've been making lab diamonds for over 30-40 years now. How, for industrial purposes and other purposes and kind of pet projects and other things, but I think over the past 10 years they've had a lot of success, and they found success. 10 years ago, selling a laboratory diamond was an interesting journey that even as a salesman and someone that was trying to, you know, help somebody out, was just like, I don't know enough about this to really educate you. I knew there was two ways to make it. There's CBD and there's HDHP, and what are the differences? Well, one is going to be, you know, CBD is usually much cleaner, so the clarity will be really high, and the HDHP will have a really nice color. So it's like, okay, well, you want a really high clarity, really high color. And that was kind of where we started about 10 years ago, and we told people it's only like, you know, 20% less than a natural diamond. Why bother buy it? Like, who knows the sellability and where it's going to be and this and that. And so we were kind of opposed to it. But now the more educated I've got, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a phenomenal product. And now it's less than half the cost of a natural diamond, which blows my mind. I actually brought one here to show you guys.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I'm full of surprises.
This is great.
Avi coming through.
Yeah. So
man.
this is... yeah.
Well, really quick, you tried another one, I think.
I
you
did.
pour a
I
third?
actually, I kind of cheated.
I want to try that one
So
too.
Cappy's is the next one, and Cappy's was the one I bought on my Boston trip on the way to New Hampshire for the wedding.
Okay. And that's the one that's closest to Kev.
This is my native. This is my native
yes,
whiskey.
this is
this
the,
one here.
that one right there. It was,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess we'll get that pour going while you're just
Yeah.
focusing
Yeah.
on what's going on next.
So the diamond I have here, and it's going to be hard to see, and it's hard to capture scintillation even in a video, unless you have it right over it and you do some fancy camera work. So the one I have here is an F color, which is colorless on the color scale, and it's a VVS2, which is basically flawless. There's flawless, VVS1, VVS2. And so this is one grade between this and flawless. And then there's VS1, VS2, SI1, SI2, and then I1, I2, I3. So this is going to be a really nice color and clarity diamond. A diamond like this in the natural world will probably cost close to $30,000, $35,000.
Oh wow.
Wow.
This diamond, I'm selling for $8,000.
Really?
Let's take a look.
Yeah, I'll pass it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got an $8,000 diamond in my hand here.
Yeah, which is actually, it's
So
chemically
this
it's the
is
same
a lab,
hardness
this
scale.
is
It's
a
the
lab
same.
diamond then.
It's a lab diamond.
That's a lot of bling.
Interesting.
That's a lot of bling, man. Bling's the thing.
Isn't that cool?
I don't know diamonds, but I'm gonna trust your, you know your stuff, man. And this looks amazing.
And it's certified. And it's interesting. Lab diamonds are kind of made in a vacuum, and so they're made like they come out as rough, just like a natural diamond would. And so you have to sit there and cut it, and it takes about 2 months from start to finish. And they use a natural diamond for the seed to make this. And basically what they do is they expose to high temperature, high pressure, and they continue to grow the crystals of the diamond, and that's how you get it. And then you can use that seed again and keep growing new diamonds.
Wow. I never knew that was the thing, man.
And they all come out differently.
Interesting. Can the camera?
I
see
think
this
I
at
think
all?
the best way to get it is going to be on Avi's camera.
Yeah, on obvious. Yeah.
Because we can get it a little bit closer.
But I had to touch it. I accidentally fell out of the thing, and
So that's called
a
a diamond diaper.
The little foam
It
piece
fell
is
out
a
of the
diamond diaper.
I had to place
Man.
it back in the diaper. I hope you don't mind.
We're learning things.
But no, that's definitely
That's bling.
nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I usually have my clients do, you pick it up with your hands, put it in between your fingers, hold it, kind of expose it to the light, put it under the
Yeah.
table, take the light away,
And
move it
see the-
around
Oh,
and
and that
see
way you
how
can-
see how the light dances and how it plays. Is it a nice diamond? Usually when we narrow it down to a few different diamonds at the end, we say, okay, we're in between these 2 stones or these 3 stones.
That's cool.
Let's see if we can get it on the camera a little bit there.
Sure,
Avi.
yeah,
Let's
I'm
see.
happy to.
It's close. I mean, with the
we can-
light
we can
here,
try.
let's see what kind of bling we can capture.
Maybe you
for
could
the
just even
viewers.
just hold it up. Maybe you could hold it up and do it something like that.
I might be able to capture. Oh yeah, perfect. Look at that, guys.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
That's cool, man. Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, that's a fun little
That's
show
an
and
$8,000
tell.
diamond right there, man.
Yeah, this dude
Right?
brought some expensive
He's got
whiskey.
we got the whiskey
and you're
and the
wearing
diamonds.
nice clothes, and his shoes are fresh too. You could always judge people on their shoes, right? And Avi came in.
He
killing
came in
it.
looking fresh. He came marching in, man.
He did.
John X is right. He's like, look,
Oh, that's
you
hilarious.
guys are in. This is gonna be a wild one. I know John's excited to watch this one. So, and thanks to John for hooking it up with you.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
if it wasn't
for
for John,
sure.
we probably wouldn't make this happen.
Cheers
so
to John.
Yeah.
let's have a drink, guys.
Yeah.
From
So-
New Hampshire.
This is my native whiskey.
That's right. So just outside New Hampshire, this wasn't in New Hampshire because I think New Hampshire has liquor laws that they
Okay.
have to sell from state stores. Is that true?
Yeah, the state liquor stores.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's a big thing there.
So this was sold from a store, Cappy's. So this was in Massachusetts, right outside New Hampshire. It was super close.
Okay.
So we were in Portsmouth.
Yep.
Portsmouth. So the wedding was in Portsmouth. So this was
Excellent.
probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes outside Portsmouth.
Okay.
So we drove by,
Smells good.
saw it, missed the exit, turned around, went back,
Nice.
saw a liquor store, walked in, and me and my buddy saw that they had this bottle, and we're like, we both bought one. And then, he's like, should we buy more? And I was like, oh, I don't know what the bourbon craze is out here, but who knows? And who knows if it's any good?
Sure. Yeah.
So we bought one, and we tasted it that night, and we're like, I'll let you taste it. And we're like, holy shit, this is amazing.
All right, I'm trying this.
How's the language work on this?
We're explicit.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
say whatever you want.
Literally,
yeah.
I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
As we would say in the in the New England area, man, this is a wicked pisser. Let's have a drink. Huh? Get some of that whiskey.
All right, well, cheers, y'all.
So I did. We
Nice.
tried it, and then we were like, all right, on our way back to the airport, let's stop and get some.
Yeah, that one's okay. So this one has like an initial punch compared to the first one was kind of like a slow draw. The second one was very smooth.
So do you feel that spice on your tongue?
Yeah.
How it kind of sits there and lingers and has that slower finish? I love that.
Yeah.
And now remember, each barrel that's picked is unique to the person picking it, right? So you might have liked the Philnor better, but I like this one better.
Yeah.
And probably more people like the Philnor better because it's so smooth.
Yeah, because this one definitely has.
It's
Spicier.
Yeah, you feel it
Does have a
going down
spice.
like it'll warm you up if you're cold on winter. Like you want to sip this.
Yeah.
I can see
So,
that.
so
being a
during the
New England
winter
thing.
time, do you have a more popular bourbon in the store that you like to serve or something?
No, not
A
really.
summer bourbon, a winter bourbon.
I kind of put it to the guys that are in, and
Yeah.
I'd say like, "Hey, what are you into?" And
Yeah.
if they say like, "Oh, I drink, Bullet or something like that," which is a more basic bourbon, then I'm like, "All right, let me introduce you to kind of another world." And if someone's like, "Oh, I see you got Blanton's there," that's my drink. And so I serve them Blanton's, which is a very hard bottle to find.
Is it?
So on
don't
the
know if
East
I've ever had
Coast, it's much easier to find. I was actually about to bring a bottle, and I was like, Blanton's is one of those bottles that are kind of unique and super rare, and so the bourbon lovers
Yeah.
that really hunt, they're looking for that bottle of Blanton's. But then you get to a certain place where you're like, there are bottles that are superior to Blanton's that are even harder to find, and now that's what we're going to search for. So there's kind of this snobbiness of like, oh yeah, I don't drink Blanton's because, you know, I'm better than that. But Blanton's is an excellent bottle, and it's the original single barrel, and it's phenomenal. So I almost brought a bottle, but I was like, I don't want to overwhelm you guys.
If you ever go to a trivia night and they ask bourbon or whiskey questions, I guarantee you get those.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Some of them.
He's gonna be like John X on wrestling.
Oh, John X on wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He killed that.
We
man.
got
I couldn't
two
believe that.
two phone a friends now for any of those topics that come up if we're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We got the whiskey, the jewelry, the
Right.
wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, that's the beauty of it.
Let's go.
I'll tell you this, man. This is
one-
good.
Do you like this one?
Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
liking this
better?
one. I
Yeah.
like the first one so far, and this one it's hard for me to tell which one I like
right,
better.
The Argonaut and the Cappies.
Yeah, and it's not just because it's my native land. I like the flavor. I like the way it hits the tongue, and then the afterburn isn't too bad. There's a lot of whiskeys that I'll sip on that give me I guess kind of a gagging sensation, if you will. Like as I swallow it,
has
it kind of
that
has.
Too
ethanol.
smoky. See, I
Yeah.
don't like
It's so
smoky stuff
ethanol.
that much.
You know what? I'm with you.
I don't like if it
What is
tastes.
that,
If it tastes like
mezcal or something
For the tequila,
What do they call it?
yeah, but it's a peat in like Scotch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like super smoky, like licking an ashtray.
Yeah.
when it
See-
tastes like burnt wood, it makes me want to gag.
Yeah, I have a bottle of Lagavulin 16, which a lot of the peat fans love, and so I don't enjoy it, and I've tried it many times.
Is that more of a smoky one then?
super smoky?
Yeah.
And so I have a bottle just for those people.
That's nice of you.
And so whenever they come, I'm like, give it to them, but I don't drink it. I'll
Yeah.
drink something else. But then when I finish it, I'm like, I gotta buy another one because people love it.
Huh.
It happens to be a great bottle of Scotch, but
Yeah.
yeah. So with
Interesting.
bourbon, you don't find the smokiness too much. What you find is rye. That's kind of the equivalent.
Is that what it is?
Kind of. So there's bourbons that are wheated. There are bourbons that are sour mash, and there are bourbons that are rye bourbons. I am a big fan of wheated and sour mash. I've been slowly training myself to appreciate the rye, but it took me about 2 years to start getting into rye. Right away, I had like a visceral reaction. I'm like, oh, that's awful. And now I'm like, oh, that's actually quite nice. And now I can start appreciating it a little more. But some of the original ones that I tried, I'm not going to mention the names, but I still gag when I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
awful.
See, I hate
Even when
that
smell
feeling,
it.
and I get that a lot because I mean I'm more on the redneck side, so I drink redneck beer, redneck whiskey, the cheap stuff, right? So a lot of those like Wild Turkeys, the Evan Williams, even Jack Daniel's I won't touch. Crown Royal I do like. We do a lot of Crown Royal. There's a ton of bottles over there
No,
that we've
yeah,
drank
see
in the
that.
past. But that's not a bourbon, right? That's like a
That's
distilled.
whiskey. Or is bourbon whiskey? Like I feel uneducated.
So whiskey is kind of all encompassing. It's like saying
Okay.
jewelry. It doesn't refer to diamonds. It doesn't refer
I
to
see.
like whiskey is basically a
Okay.
Just like beer, even.
So
kind of,
bourbon
yeah.
is a type of whiskey.
bourbon is type of whiskey. Scotch is type of whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a bunch
Okay.
of different types of whiskey. So whiskey
That
is
makes
like,
sense.
and I think Crown Royal is a Canadian whiskey.
It is.
Isn't
It's a
it?
Canadian
Yeah.
whiskey.
And then
And there's
whiskey's
a bunch
whiskey.
of great Canadian whiskey, and then there's a bunch of different types of whiskey. But bourbon is a whiskey, just
Yeah.
like Scotch is a
Interesting.
whiskey.
Interesting.
So it probably has to do with distillation or something. But I'm not smart enough to know.
See, because like Jack Daniel's No. 7, one of the the famous American whiskeys.
Yes.
I don't like it.
So there's
You know?
some Jack Daniels that are. So I just bought a bottle of like a Jack Daniels 132 proof, and it's like in this gold label, and it's like a single barrel, and it was like batch one, like 001.
Damn.
And I tried it, and it was great. Like you needed to cut it a little bit with a splash of water
Or an ice cube.
or an ice cube, and it changed the entire taste of it. But I thought it was great jest. But I'm kind of a proof slut. Like I like when the proofs get really.
Really? You like the
When you come to the store,
rocket fuel?
I'm just gonna. I mean, just don't drive, Uber it, and we'll.
I'm
we're
gonna be
gonna
telling my girlfriend, yeah, I'm gonna go hang out at a jewelry store. She'll be like,
She'll be like,
oh.
awesome.
She'll be like, great, and then I'm
Come
just
home
chilling
hammered.
there for a couple hours, hanging out. Like I looked at a couple pieces, but really we're enjoying the bourbon.
Yeah.
No,
That's good
that's
bourbon, man.
funny.
Yeah, come home
We'll have
hammered.
to,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty close.
We're gonna
to
have to make a trip down there, man. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
We have to set a 2021 itinerary schedule of all the places we need to do.
The follow-ups.
Yeah,
The follow-ups for
yeah,
sure.
and maybe
That'd
we'll
be
bring
cool.
one of these cameras with us and just
Yeah, we'll do like a
little extra
Patreon show or
content
something.
So
Awesome.
how long have you guys been doing this?
Coming up on 2 years.
Almost our
So
2-year anniversary,
It was February of 19.
February 27th, 2019, we launched.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So 2 years. So I've been going almost 3 years. So we're both still. I feel like I'm still in my infancy and still learning
Oh,
as
absolutely.
a business owner. And it's so challenging. Just being a business owner, especially I mean last year was ridiculous, but
Oh, for sure.
but just it's so interesting being, having a new project and starting it up and,
seeing it
what
grow
to
and
fuel
what
it
is
and
it
what
actually,
community
yeah.
to grow and what to be a part of, what to buy into, what's worth it, what's not worth it. So some of my hobbies obviously include bourbon, and the other one is cycling. And so like I started cycling. I wouldn't call myself an avid cyclist because there are people that I look up to that are just like, I mean, I can't hang with them because they're they're unbelievable, and they do amateur racing, and I don't do any of that. I would love to do that one day, but I try to put in about 100 to 150 miles a week, and these guys are putting in 200 to 300 miles
to
a week
150 miles a week.
on a bicycle. Yeah.
Damn, because I started doing the Peloton. It's been like
Hell
it's been
yeah,
like
good
5
for you.
weeks.
How you doing with that?
I've last week was my slowest week. I only did it twice, but every other week I've hit it like at least 4 to 5 days within that
That's
range.
awesome. Dude, that's 4 to 5 days a week. You'll build a really nice
Yeah.
base.
I'm trying, man.
Does it give you like wattage and all that information?
So that's what's kind of motivating about it is because you wear the little monitor. Yeah, like I have this, but the other one is I'll just wear that because I don't want to get this all sweaty.
Yeah.
But so it has your heart rate, it has calories burned during the workout, your miles per hour, how far you've traveled, your wattage, like how much watts are you putting out, what's your resistance. So
What's your incline, right? Like how many feet have you climbed?
Well, so it doesn't do that.
Oh, it doesn't do that.
It
Interesting.
doesn't do that, but I do like the nature things where it's like just a nature thing with music. And
so you don't do the trainer videos?
my girlfriend does all the trainer videos.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like that. Like I'm gonna push myself, and we got
There's
like
some
the little
really-
dumbbells on the back. You start working it. But-
There's some really
yeah.
hot trainers on there that are like way too good looking.
Oh, yeah.
Smart of you to do the scenic ones. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Guilt-free workout.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. I've seen some cool places. I've ridden all over the world.
Right. That's actually really. So where have you ridden?
Oh well, I've been in South Asia, all over the United States. I've done like the UK. I've done Paris.
I was gonna say, can you do some of the like Tour de France, like some of those rides and climbs?
That would be cool if it was specific like races. I don't know if that's in there, because I just do like the biking. Biking is great. I mean, I was always an avid swimmer because the low impact. So biking I feel like is really
Low
good for that.
impact, Yeah.
I feel like it's making a
And
difference.
you could almost recover while you're riding. And so like if you're putting out 150 watts and then you're like, I need to take a break and I need to bring it down to 120. So while you're doing that 200, and you try to keep your cadence up. And
Yeah.
so these are things that I've learned as time goes on. Your cadence should stay between, 80 and 95. And so,
Really? Because
so
I'm
that's-
at like 70 to like 80-ish.
yeah, so try to pick that up and,
need to
and
pick that up,
lower
okay.
the resistance, and then you'll find yourself being able to last longer and longer. And then also you'll see your wattage and you want to pull it back sometimes and recover. But I feel like how many workouts can you do where while you're working out you can recover? So it's kind
That's
of
true.
unique, right? Like you could
That is
stay on
true.
the bike for 45 minutes and you could feel great. You could push it super hard, or you could take it easier and then you could do an hour and a half workout. But I feel like biking is such a unique workout because first of all you're traveling. So like when you're out on the road,
Yeah.
which hopefully in the summertime you'll start doing. You'll grab a bike and I'll go with
it
you
again,
and we'll go to the Cherry Creek Reservoir, or we can go to Lookout Mountain.
Oh,
Like,
see, that'd be cool. Like the trails.
it's beautiful.
I'm not. I know you do some city riding. How about like with traffic? Because I would rather be on trails like doing it.
I try to stay away from
Yeah,
traffic. It
so
scares
you're
me.
not doing like the commute to work or stuff like that.
I do, but luckily I live right off the Cherry Creek bike path, and I'm able to take that all the way downtown, and then I only have to cross a few blocks. So I have to deal with traffic for a little bit, but traffic scares the hell out of me like that.
Yeah.
You don't win when you hit a car.
No.
Yeah.
Is there any other type of workouts that you do? Or is it mainly biking?
Mainly biking. I'll play, flag football or something. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to be on a few different teams, and I'll play basketball.
What are you? What are you, a receiver?
Yeah, I have a receiver, and I do enjoy playing quarterback, but there are usually people that are better than I am. But if if there's someone on the team if there's no one on the team that can play quarterback,
You'll step up.
I can drop a few. But if there's no real rush, then I'm good. Like if it's just like, all right, we're gonna play to 7 dead, I'm like, I got this, guys. Like I can be a great quarterback. If there's a rush, I'm like, all right, I need 2 routes, and I need to know exactly what you guys are doing, and I'm hitting one one of you. The other two guys, sorry, I'm not even gonna look at you. So yeah, I'm not good enough to. But I can run routes and run around, and cycling has helped me with that too. But hockey is my other thing. Like I play a ton of hockey, and I've only been playing the past 5-6 years, but
So you just pick it up, like you're like, hey, I just joined this club and it's a hockey club and it's for beginners. And
I got bit by the bug and I started playing like 3 times a week and practicing like 4 times a week, like waking up early every morning. And then I joined 2 different leagues, and then like I started advancing and getting better and better. And it's just like the first time I skated, I bought my skates and I went to went to Apex Ice Arena, and so I was skating with the team, and I run straight into one of my own teammates and just knocked him right out. And he's on the floor, and I'm like, hey man, I'm so sorry. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I know you're new. And the referee after the game skates over to me before COVID, puts his arm around me, and he says, hey man, you know how like they do those skates with all the little kids, on Sunday mornings, and you just skate around in circles? You should be doing some of that. I said, yes, sir. And I started, and next time I came back, I knew how to hockey stop, on my right foot.
Yeah.
And then when I picked up my stick again, I realized that I need to be skating I need a hockey stop on my left foot, because I hold the stick in my left hand, and I'm a righty. So. And then it's progressed, and then slowly you stop thinking about your skating and you think about your stick handling more. Yeah. Then you start thinking about ice awareness and where I'm supposed to be and where the breakout is.
That's cool.
And it's just evolved from there. And
the
brotherhood with hockey is phenomenal.
Do you like play like hockey on the sports games and stuff? Then on your spare time ever, like you're like I gotta get it in.
I actually don't play any video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 4 kids.
Do they?
And
of course,
my
right?
oldest son plays video games, like a big Fortnite and PUBG and some of the other games, but I don't play. I've played Fortnite a few times just to bond with him.
Yeah.
But he's so much better than me. It's more fun watching him play.
Yeah, for sure.
Than playing myself. But yeah, he's pretty kick-ass. As the 12-year-old goes. I mean, I told him, I was like, bring it on. I was like, let's play N64 and let's play Mario Kart. I'll kick your ass. And he's like, what's an N64?
Oh, yeah. That's
one of my favorite consoles ever, man.
I mean, dude, that revolutionized the 3D experience.
Oh yeah, when
those graphics were phenomenal.
They were huge.
They're still amazing to play on. Like,
they were huge.
Fun.
Zelda Ocarina of Time, when that dropped on N64, it changed my life.
So that's one of the most influential games. I watched like the top 20 influential games.
Was that on there?
Mario.
Yeah, for sure.
Ocarina of Time. Super Mario was huge,
on there for sure.
Because that was the first one to drop on the 64.
Yes.
Was Super Mario 64.
And then Super Smash Bros.
That actually was on the revolutionary.
I was always Kirby.
Games. See, Kirby's so good, man. People who are good with Kirby stress me out.
Right?
Like I'm trying to play as like Samus is like the old school one that I play as, and then
I liked absorbing Samus because then you could shoot those fireballs. Yeah, that was just cool.
Yeah, we can nerd out on that for sure. But
so N64, I played a lot as a kid, and then as an adult, I stopped playing video games and now my son's getting into it, and I'm just like, hey man, go outside and play. Or why are you watching other people play video games? And he turns to me and he goes, you watch other people play football. Why can't I watch other people play video games? And I'm just like, huh.
It's an interesting
perspective.
Right. I'm like, I think you might have a point. Like,
yeah.
I guess you watch people do things that you can't do yourself, and I watch people do things like, I wish I could play, as well as, Trevor Simeon, who didn't make it, and like there's quarterbacks that we've had that, like, now we have Drew Lock, and they're like, oh well, we shouldn't re-sign Lock, he's terrible, and I'm like, dude, I wish I can play half as well as he can.
Yeah.
And so like you like watching people that can do things better than you can, so that's what he does with Fortnite. He watches all those guys, Ninja and all these guys on YouTube.
You're pretty busy, man. You're doing biking, you do long rides, you do some hockey, you do some flag football, you have a family, you own your own business.
And business, yeah.
Like,
drinking whiskey.
You're keeping yourself busy, man. That's a good thing, though.
I don't sleep a lot. Right. I bike early. I wake up at like 5 and I try to ride really
What time
early.
do you usually go to bed? Like, what's bedtime for
Hockey's late. Now I'm down to 1 day a week. I usually play Tuesday nights. I actually played on Monday night this week. But so hockey's late. So men's league, the way it works is ice time is later at night. So we usually get the earliest game possible is usually 7:30. But we usually play around 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10, 10:15.
Oh, wow. That is late.
Damn, so you're getting home close to midnight sometimes.
So yeah, so I'm usually winding down. So the games take about an hour and 15 minutes, but you get dressed and then you have to undress. And Yeah, usually on a 10-15 game, I'm usually not in bed till about midnight, and then I don't fall asleep till like 12:30 because you're like so amped
you gotta
up.
unwind in bed and think about how you kicked ass or got your ass kicked.
Right, got my ass kicked.
One or the other.
Right, how some guy So hockey's fun, and it's like it's a sport where you're allowed to fight, but you're not allowed to fight. So like the refs will tolerate it, but they'll right away throw you in the box. So this past Monday, this guy, they were kicking our ass too, shutting us out, and this guy checked me for no reason. Mm-hmm. And so I turned around, I'm like, hey, what the hell, man? And he's like, you want to go? And I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to get my ass kicked. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, dude, you're way better than I am. And he was like, all right, cool.
He was just ready to start swinging.
He was ready. Yeah, he was ready to go, and I was like, "Yeah, no,
That's funny.
I got a family at home. I got a business tomorrow. Like, I can't get my ass kicked."
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That is funny, man. Bill Burr talks about it. He's one of my favorite stand-up comedians.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He likes to use sports analogies. And one of the things he talks about when he's fighting with his girl, he's like, how come there's never any questions about how this argument escalated to where it is? Even in hockey, there's 2 minutes for instigating, right? You had to get there somehow. It doesn't just fly out of nowhere.
True, right?
It's always, well, why'd you react that way? That's no way to react. Well, you don't know what the buildup was,
right?
And that's true. That's one thing I love about hockey, though, is it's like let's brawl until someone hits the ice.
Yeah, it's the only place.
And then it's only 2 minutes
that you can fight somebody and like throw fists without catching jail time or getting any offenses or assault charges.
Yeah, suspended for 5 games.
It's the only place.
Hockey's brutal, man.
Other than
football,
like boxing
you throw
and stuff,
a punch at
obviously,
somebody's helmet.
You're done.
You're done. You're kicked out of the game.
You're ejected.
And you might even be suspended for another game or two.
And you could lose sponsors.
Sponsorships.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Hockey, it's like, let's go, man. Let's brawl. Hockey and UFC is like the only two professional sports left that we glorify, where fighting and instigating things of that is still a part of the game and respected part of the game. Sure, yeah, you get 2 minutes in the penalty booth, but so
2
what?
minutes ain't nothing.
Right.
So what?
I remember my first hockey game. So I grew up in Long Island, and I was in 8th grade when we moved out here. But I think I was in like 6th or 7th grade. My dad took me to a Rangers game, and I remember like the guys skating backwards were like faster than I was able to run, and I was just like, these guys are just insane athletes, and it's just amazing. And I saw a fight break out, and my heart started racing, and I had like adrenaline pumping through my body, and I was like, oh my God, adults are fighting. Like, why are adults fighting? Adults shouldn't be fighting. Like, kids fight. My dad was like, it's okay, it's hockey.
It's hockey.
Yeah.
It's hockey, son.
Yeah, and I wasn't playing hockey at all back then, and I was just like, I was a huge Yankees fan because we grew up in New York, and like my grandfather handed me a ball that was like signed by like the whole Yankees team, and he's like, hey, you should have this. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, this is signed by the entire Yankees team.
You still got it?
And I still have it. And,
oh, awesome.
Yeah, and
cool.
it was like, Derek Jeter's on it, and like it was all these like awesome athletes, and I was like, holy shit, like this is so cool.
That is cool.
And since that day, I was just like the biggest Yankees fan, and that was like early '96, and then the World Series. I remember staying up late and watching the '96 World Series, and like just thinking that every time your team goes to the World Series, you win. So when I moved to Denver in 2001, and the Yankees were in the World Series, and I think we got beat that year or the year before, whatever it was, we won shortly after that, but the Avs just won the Stanley Cup, and I'm like, yeah, my team always wins. Like, wherever I am, my team wins. Like, that's how it works. And then as an adult, Broncos go to the Super Bowl, and we play the Seahawks, and I'm like, here we go. Like, I'm so excited about the Broncos about to kick some ass.
It was a rough game.
Oh, my God, it was awful. And I wasn't really a football fan in New York, so, like, I really bought into the Broncos, and I'm a huge Broncos fan now. And
well, that's good to hear.
That was tough on me. That loss was really, and the year before where
that one sucked. It was like the whole game we were deflated, and then right as we were getting like our inertia back, our momentum, like the half starts, and then they return return it for 6 on us.
So one of my buddies
just took it all away.
So a guy that was playing on the Broncos at the time, and I helped him buy an engagement ring, who was a referral from another Broncos player that I helped, Gerald Rivers, and so he bought his engagement ring, and later on he actually came in. He worked with me for a little while, and was helping me with a couple things. And he told me, he said, "Oh yeah, I was on the kickoff team during that Super Bowl. We got our asses kicked." And he's like, "It was actually kickoff left was the call, and he kicked it off right. And so we're all running this way, and Percy Harvin gets it, or whatever it was, and he returns over a touchdown." And I was like, dude, I had my jersey turned inside out, and then when you guys let him score, I was like, that's all your fault. You should have got him. So
Damn.
whenever people are like, they see Gerald and he's this big, huge 6'5" guy, and they're like, "Did you play football?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And I'm like, "Yeah, he was on the Broncos and he played in that Super Bowl." We got asking. He's like, "Man, why do you got to bring that up every time?"
You shouldn't have told me. That game pissed me off.
Yeah.
Every time someone mentions football, you always got to bring up that game. I was like, "Yeah, well, because
funny.
That was a rough one, man. That was rough. I remember, what was it? I think it was Joe Namath was doing the coin toss. He came out in his fur coat.
That's right.
And it was like, man, this is already starting to not feel right. The coin toss was a disaster. He dropped it,
Yeah,
had
he
to pick
did.
it up and
Couldn't find
rethrow
it, yeah.
Some, it started going off the rails early on.
Yeah.
So I was like,
And then the first snap of the game.
yeah. Oh, yeah, the first snap went right over Peyton's head. He's running into the end zone to try and get it. Did it end up being a safety, or did he recover it?
I think it was a safety.
It was a
safety. So we had
it
to
was a
punt
safety.
it or
Yeah, we
something
started
that, right?
off with 2 points on the
Didn't
opponent's
the
board.
run? It was like no Sean
There's-
Moran. Who
it
was
was
it
bad.
that
I tried to
recovered
forget
the-
that game.
I
I
can't
really
remember.
did.
No,
Yeah.
no show Moreno. Yeah.
So Super Bowl 50, I've watched that game about 24 times, just because I
Damn.
like reliving the good old days.
Oh, I'll tell you
Dude,
this,
my
man.
favorite is the 97-98 Bronco. Those
run.
two back-to-back, that was...
The helicopter move with the Green Bay Packers.
So do
97.
you remember, not to bring up a sore subject, but do you remember the loss to Jacksonville
The Jacksonville...
in '96?
I don't...
So we
That
lost
was
to
the AFC
Jacksonville.
Championship game, right?
No, it was I think it was divisional.
Divisional round.
Someone's gonna know and be like, "You're an idiot."
someone's gonna
But,
correct us.
Yeah. So anyway, so it was that game, but it was very similar to the Baltimore loss.
Yeah.
How Raheem Moore missed the block and whoever it was ran the touchdown and Joe Flacco completed that pass, and then it went into overtime and we lost. But it was kind of that same I cannot believe our team, which was so much better than that team. So Jacksonville and kind of the same. We should have won 3 Super Bowls in a row, I feel like. But that was kind of the same thing for me. That Baltimore loss, I couldn't talk to anybody the next day. I was just so depressed and it killed me. And then, the next year we go on and get our butts kicked in the Super Bowl. But that hurt me. I was like, we have Star Wars, numbers in our football team, and we should be the best team. And that was it.
Football's a tough sport to watch, man. I honestly didn't watch that much in 2020. I wasn't too enthused for some reason this year. And after seeing how the Broncos did, because I get very invested in the games, so I get frustrated and it bothers me for a couple days after we lose. So I'm kind of happy that I took the season off.
Smart.
But I'm jumping in the next season, and that's kind of a farewell. I'm only gonna be a Bronco fan.
I'll never be anything
know.
but a Patriots fan. I'm diehard. I grew up in New England. I love my Pats, and
New
it's been a
Hampshire.
hell of a run.
Yeah.
I was there Drew Bledsoe era. That's kind of when I got into football. Wasn't a diehard fan in the 90s, so to speak. It was more in my adult life I got into football. And obviously having Tom Brady as our quarterback was tremendous. We did 3 out of 4 Super Bowls early. And then
That was unfair. You guys are way too good.
Yeah, it was a good run, man.
It was amazing to watch, though. Honestly,
incredible run.
I can respect the Pats. I really can, even though we're division rivals and this and that. To
We're
see
big
a
rivals
team
now.
to see a team do that for that many seasons, it will
Broncos
never
were-
be done again.
But the Broncos were kind of the Achilles heel, right? Every time we matched
would.
up AFC Championship game, that was our thing. We took it from them.
New England, we've
Yeah.
always struggled in
Several
Denver.
times.
There's no question. I mean, the records that show it. Even before Brady, we've struggled here in
Yeah,
Denver.
that's true.
And now, we had a terrible season. We went 7-9. That's unpatriotic, so to speak. That's unpatriot
I like it.
So
Well, I was gonna say Tom Brady. I'm rooting for him.
Okay.
Look,
I was gonna
Yeah, that's
ask you
fair.
if you're,
That's fair.
as a Patriots fan, do you root for Tom Brady?
I don't, but
Okay.
because he's moving on to the NFC Championship,
You're rooting for him.
because out of the remaining 4 teams, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski are the only 2 I want to see go again.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
interested in Kansas City, Buffalo, or Green Bay. I have respect for all of those teams. They all deserve to be there. But I want to see Tom go to his 7th. He deserves it. He truly is the
Yeah.
greatest quarterback to ever play in this game.
He's the GOAT.
He's
He's the GOAT, no question.
Yeah, I'll say that. So I think the toughest place to play probably for the NFL would be New Mexico City.
Yeah,
Because
Mexico
that's
City.
twice as high as Denver.
Right, it's 7,000
Yeah,
something, right? It's another
up
2,000
there.
feet.
Yeah, so you're playing really high. You're going to a foreign country. I know they play in London and stuff too, but
Mexico City, not New Mexico City.
no, I
Mexico
said Mexico
City.
City.
Yeah, yeah.
Did I say New Mexico?
I heard
City?
New Mexico City.
Did I say New Mexico City?
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
Well,
We're talking about
they're in development.
yeah,
You know.
the Albuquerque, the Albuquerque, green
Albuquerque,
chilies.
yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That's probably
shit.
closer to sea level.
Yeah, down
I knew what
in
you meant.
Mexico.
Yeah,
Down in
Mexico,
Mexico.
yeah.
That fool was a
Mexico
wreck,
City.
man.
Yeah.
They played
Yeah.
there last year. I think it was the Patriots. Was it the Patriots and the Raiders? I think played in Mexico City last
That's
year.
right, yeah.
And the field was a wreck. I mean, it just
That's
was not in
right.
good condition.
Was
You're right.
it?
It was like 7,700 feet. You're right.
It's way up there, man.
It's pretty
Funny,
high.
I was talking to my brother who lives in Boston, and his girlfriend is a huge Pats fan, and he could not care about sports. And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to watch the game," and it's like, "Oh, I hope the Patriots score a home run," and she's like, "Come on, right?" Like
He's
right,
messing with her.
Yeah, he's messing.
Yeah.
He knows enough to
He's
he
messing.
knows
Just get
enough
riled
to
up.
be stupid, but
That's fun.
So I
good
told him, I was
old-fashioned
like, I was like, I love Tom Brady. I think he's the greatest quarterback ever. I love his release. I love his approach to the game. I love his enthusiasm and how intense he is. I love Julian Edelman. I love Rob Gronkowski. And I was like, and your owner, Robert Kraft. I was like, what a mensch. Like, that guy is awesome. Like, just, he's such a philanthropist. He gives so much charity. Like, such a good guy. He's like, so you're telling me you're a Patriots fan? I was like, I fucking hate the Patriots. I was like, I just love those guys.
True. That's fair enough. That's fair enough because that's more than a lot of Patriot haters would admit.
Right.
A lot of people say, I hate those guys. I hate Brady. I hate Edelman. I hate Gronk.
Right.
Fuck Robert
I hate
Kraft.
the team. I love the guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld did it best, like that skit about it's just guys wearing shirts. And they change their teams all the time. And now that he's on that other team, well, now I don't like him because he's not wearing the shirt I like. He was like going through all that. Jerry Seinfeld did a great little skit on all that.
Yeah, that's true.
People are passionate about football, man. I mean, I like a lot of teams, but I'm always going to be a Pats fan. I rooted for Denver, no question. Super Bowl 50, 100% I was rooting for Denver.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also fun to see some of those guys that shop at our store on TV, and my kids think it's the coolest thing. I'm like, oh, you see that guy? I'm like, he bought rings from us. Or he buys jewelry from us. Yeah. He comes every Christmas, and my kids are like, "That's so cool!" And they freak out when they see, So it's
a little
fun.
starstruck. Almost.
And then I get them, the jerseys, and then we wear them whenever we go skiing. Our whole family's in jerseys, And
That's
it's
tight.
Yeah, it's fun, and so it's an easy way to identify, their dad when he's tumbling down the mountain, or one of the kids, oh, he's in bright orange. So
There he is.
That's strategic. I like that.
So if you had to pick
yeah.
between living in one or another place, if you had to pick between living in California or the Northeast,
Okay.
and that's where you live for the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's your spot.
That's the would you rather?
Yeah, that's one of the would you rather.
So I've never lived in California.
Okay. Have you been though?
I've been to California multiple times. My uncle lives. So I went to Super Bowl 50. I went to Palo Alto. That's kind of was my home base, and then we drove in. I wasn't brave enough to scalp tickets because we had this whole crazy story where me and my two good friends went, and we were like ready to buy 3 tickets, and we're like, we'll spend up to $2,000 a piece, and we're like, that's gonna be great. The average for last year's Super Bowl was way less, and whatever. And who's gonna come? Panther supporters, like who's gonna come? And so we get there, and this guy was like, "Hey man, you guys looking for tickets?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're looking for tickets." And he's like, "Great, I got a few tickets. I got 2 tickets." And so I was like, "All right, you guys get those 2, and then I'll get something else." And he's like, "How much are you looking to spend?" And I was like, "How much are you asking?" He's like, "I'll give you this for $1,500 a piece." And I was like, "Dude," that's the best price we've seen. Like everything else has been like $3,500, $3,200, $2,800. Like we haven't seen tickets. We're like, where are they? We're looking. We're like, okay, cool. We heard there's some sort of ink on the back that disappears if you touch it or rub it or something. And he's like, yeah, man, this has the ink on it. We're like, all right, cool, show us. And he's like, well, it's right on the back. It's right here. He's like, these guys want to buy these tickets. And if you guys aren't interested, I'll just sell it to these guys. And we're like, no, we're interested. He's like, you guys get cash? We're like, yeah, of course we have cash. He's like, all right, cool, man. And so my buddy's like, let me just see it. And so he slowly, he reaches his hand out to take the tickets. And this guy behind us, 50-year-old guy, just reaches in and tries to grab the tickets away from, us and that guy, and the guy rips it away, and the guy he's like this big bald guy, he's like 6'3", 50 years old, and he just tries to grab the guy's jacket, and the guy just pulls out of it and spins and just runs away and runs right into the traffic. I swear to God, runs right into fucking traffic, and he does this thing and he cuts across and he disappears, and the guy's like, fuck, I've been trying to catch that guy all day. And we're like, what? He's like, he's selling fake tickets. He's like, I knew it was him. I wasn't sure right away, so I didn't tackle him, but I wanted to see the tickets first. And then my other guy was waiting around the corner, and he's like, that guy's selling counterfeit tickets.
Oh shit!
And we're like, oh my God, we almost lost $3,000 to these fake tickets. It would have been like, oh look, we got tickets, showed up.
Sucked.
$3,000, yeah, and you would show up at the gate and they'd be like, no.
He's like, yeah, you're like, these are fake.
Damn. So was there any follow up?
So no follow up. The guy's like, all right, good luck, guys. And he's like, and here's what you have to look for on the tickets. He's like, there's ink on the back, and what you have to do is, and we're like, oh yeah, you press on the ink. He's like, no, you have to create friction, rub really fast, and that'll create the heat, and the ink will disappear.
Huh.
And that's they're the real tickets. So we're like, okay. And he's like,
makes
also
sense.
the tickets look like this, not like that. And we're like, all right, cool. He's like, yeah, that guy shows up to like Stanley Cup games, and like he'll just make a mint selling
He's
fake
probably
tickets.
got taken before, and he was like, he had it in his mind. He's been that 50-year-old bald guy, the big stocky guy. He's probably been sitting around for months, being like, dude, if I see that guy again,
He was a cop.
He's
He was a
probably
Was he?
Yeah, he was an undercover cop.
So he was like a private
okay.
Yeah,
investigator.
so yeah, he
undercover.
told us,
Yeah.
like he hung out with us for literally showed us his badge, and then he kind of educated
okay,
us.
that makes sense.
But he was, we were like, at first I tried to box him out. I was like, hey man, those are hard tickets. And then I was like,
You're like,
I
yeah,
don't know what I was
ripped
doing.
off.
Right.
Man, that would have sucked.
So do you think that means you're moving to California?
So yeah, so I don't know how we got there. So yeah, California would probably, I love the weather there. It was February. And I think that's where I was going. It was February when we went there first weekend. It was so beautiful. It was
Yeah.
like cold in Colorado, and so I think for a lot of my hobbies, I think that would be great. Like I can cycle year round instead of sitting on
true.
my
Very true.
my Wahoo trainer and looking at a tiny little Zwift screen and
Yeah.
seeing how I'm progressing. Last night I was on it for an hour and 40 minutes, and I'm like, I am bored out of my fucking mind. Like I'm so done sitting on my bike, because you put your own bike on it. You
Yeah.
take the back wheel off and you put it on, and you just
Okay.
sit there and you pedal and you're like, I'm not moving anywhere. I have a fan blowing in my face because I'm
Yeah.
sweating like crazy, and I'm like, this is so boring. But you can't lose your legs over the wintertime, because then you
True.
start riding with all your friends and they're like, yeah, we're in great shape. What are you doing, Avi? And I'm like, well, I've been drinking bourbon and watching my kids.
and I sold some pieces to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. Which
So,
is, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
So
great.
you're going to go with the Northeast then over California, or what are you thinking?
California.
California.
And like I said, I never lived there, but
Yeah.
California will be my choice. And I guess because of the weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's
Palo
that-
Alto, probably San Diego, somewhere it's beautiful, but
Yeah, San Diego's
San Diego's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
we'll have to get a tiny little apartment, and I'll squeeze into that, $2 million,
Pricey.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's pricey.
The real estate out there is ridiculous.
It
Denver
is.
has gotten crazy.
Denver's right there.
We
it's
moved
almost
out
on
here
par.
20 years ago, and like it was great here. And now it's like nobody can buy a house anymore.
Oh, it's ridiculous. When I got my first one-bedroom apartment, I moved to Colorado in 2007. I got my first one-bedroom because I came out here with family and stuff. When I moved into my first it was a two-bedroom. The split rent was about $500 a month for two of us. In a
No
two-bedroom
big deal,
apartment,
right.
It's 1,000 square feet, right?
Yeah.
$500 a month, no big deal.
We can handle
that
it.
same apartment now, $1,400 a month. Same apartment,
Same apartment.
less 10, 12 years later. It's ridiculous.
And forget about houses. Houses have like doubled or tripled.
Yep, houses
so-
double, tripled, 300, 400, 500,000.
I live near Sloan's Lake. We bought our first house, my wife and I. We got married back in 2006, and we bought our first house for like $165,000, $175,000. We sold that house 5 years later, for like $260,000, and I was like, babe, like we made it. Like this is awesome.
Yeah, and then the inflation kept moving. And yeah,
And that was in like 2011. And I was like, dude, we crushed it. And then we bought our new house for like 315 or whatever it was. And now both houses are worth, at least twice what we sold and paid for it. And we're just like, we are so lucky we bought and sold when we did, because
for sure.
like this is crazy what's going on. And yeah, the real estate in Denver.
It's amazing. Yeah, it is almost on par with what California's doing. I mean, nothing's going to compare with New York, obviously, per
Yeah.
square foot. But Denver's up there, and it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over the next few years if the housing market continues, if it's going to plateau, continue to go up, or crash.
But there's a mass exodus from New York and California.
There is.
Right? People are coming here.
There is.
They're like, you know what?
I mean, especially with COVID, like let me leave the big city.
Well, a lot of people are
Like,
leaving
get me
LA for
out.
that reason
Well,
alone.
and also from work from home has changed everything. Okay, so I've talked about this a couple times. I need to mention it again because it's good to refresh everybody. We are witnessing one of the most dramatic changes in human behavior that's ever happened. Like I was thinking about this the other night. Like what's one of the other big changers? Like the big thing is the nukes going off at the end of World War II. Like that changed behavior of
9/11.
humanity. War, yeah, 9/11 was also a huge one that changed behavior of flights, how TSA
Travel was
works.
so different.
Yeah, so like yeah, and we've witnessed two of them, yeah, for sure. Like so it's kind of crazy to think about that. Like we're in the middle of it, and I'm all for work from home. I love it. I think it's a much healthier lifestyle without the travel to work. I know you have to go to a brick and mortar.
So do I.
But like, you know, just it's nice to not have to do that commute. It saves me time during my day, you know?
And do you find yourself just as productive?
Yeah, I get all my stuff done. I've had a great year. I've got some accolades, and
Nice.
you know, as long as I get it done, that's the thing. But like, you buy yourself a little bit more time to live when you work at home, because you know, if I have 15 minutes that like, you know, things died down a little bit, everything's covered, everything's handled, the day's going smooth. Sure, I'll handle the stuff that comes up as it goes, but you know, what's 5 minutes to start a load? You know, or like in between calls, like, you know, you just hang a shirt, like,
Right.
you know, so you could like do other things and live a little bit while you work, and I think that's
I wouldn't be good at
great
it.
change.
I know that about myself. I need to. I was saying this before we went on the air, even before you got here. I don't do well without having a place to go to do it. You know, working out, I have to go to the gym to do it.
Creature of habit.
Yeah, I like having to. This is what I'm going to do. You know, I've worked in the grocery business for almost 20 years, so I've always programmed myself that we're going to work. Yeah, I can be productive at home and get things done and you know, do things for the pod and this and that. But I like getting out and going to work, getting ready, keeping that routine. I feel like when this is all said and done, there's certainly going to be changes going forward, and work at home is probably going to be more encouraged or even accepted into a lot of people's weekly work routines. I think you're going to see a little bit of productivity and even the call out ratio go up, because people have become so accustomed to working from home, schooling from home, doing a lot of things on Zoom. You know, I don't want to say promoting laziness, because that's not what it is, but it's encouraging. I mean, it's tough to say, because if productivity is not going down, we haven't really seen what the trend is going to be going forward. I just feel like the past year and a half, it's encouraged people to roll out of bed and just log onto a computer,
Right.
and not, you know, take their morning shower, do their morning runs,
Interesting.
whatever it is.
Right.
But I don't know. I think we still have a lot to
Interesting.
figure out.
I mean, so my kids have been kind of back and forth with Zoom and in school, and it's amazing to hear children say, I wish we were back in school. Like, I hate Zoom. Like, I miss school. And it's not just like, you know, we all grew up and we're like, oh, we hate school. School sucks.
but
Even
it's
though
a
we all
fun
had a great
experience.
time, and, you know, we was all our friends, and we had recess and this and that, and we enjoyed it. But, you know, like the principle of it, we're like, oh, we hate school. School sucks. Now the kids are like, we love school. Like, we wish we can go back
Yeah.
to school. And my kids like crave it. They're like, I miss the social interaction. And
Well,
like, it's
like
not
being
the same.
in jail. Like, if you're stuck in your house, you're not doing anything, like you get sick. Like, humans, like, we're originally nomadic, so like we used to like follow and go see the world, and so like part of that has to still be in us, to where we have that urge to explore, see new things, experience something different. That's why we love trying new restaurants, like different, like
Yeah.
you know, so like that's part of the human. And so when you're quarantining and you're trying to have less exposure to C-19, then you're essentially exposing yourself to not jail, but in a roundabout kind of, you get the same stir crazy of being,
Isolation.
you know, locked up.
Yeah.
Like, you're locked in your house. Like, when the pandemic first hit, like, we took it very serious, and there was like we did it for like probably 5 to 6 months, to where we were getting groceries delivered, not going out. Like, we took 7 weeks off the podcast. Like
I'm scared.
like, yeah.
Just didn't know. You know,
didn't
there's a
know.
lot of unknowns.
And that isolation also was kind of weird. I mean, I think I finished Netflix like during that time. Like,
You completed Netflix? You got the achievement trophy
Yeah,
for it?
it all pops up.
you're done. Good job, Avi. But like, I mean, like we closed our store down,
Yeah.
right? Like I think it was like about 6 weeks, and there was not much to do. And, you know, I think jewelry was pretty low on people's priority list. There were a few anniversaries and stuff, and I'm so grateful for my customers, and like it's really this community that we've created, and my clients are like the most important thing and they've like, a lot of them reached out and they're like, hey, like, are you suffering? Like, I'm still able to work and we're making money. Like, we would love to buy something from you right now
that's
for
so
December.
awesome.
And it blew my mind. Like, the generosity and the thoughtfulness people had, like, really blew my mind. And they're like, yeah, you take care of us all the time. Like, we would love to reach out and take care
That's
of you.
badass.
That's
I had this
terrific.
guy that comes in, he spends $5,000 every Christmas. He's like, you know my budget. He's like, I'm just going to send you a $5,000 check. I'll pick it up Christmas time. And I'm like, dude, it's April.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but, you know, you can use the money to pay your employees and cash flow, and I'm sure you have stuff that you need to do. And I told my wife, and I was like, I was so touched, and I was just like, that's incredible. And I had a few other people reach out for similar things, not to that extent, but a couple people. My friend Justin is like, hey, I want to buy a pair of earrings or a necklace, and I was just like, wow, like that, it's so special that like that you're reaching out and you're thinking of me in a time like this. And
Yeah.
It was pretty phenomenal. Like, and we were able to see not just the isolation that we felt, but the community that, in our lives that, that we got to experience. I thought was so special, and the pandemic brought that out. So there was a lot of negatives that happened, but, I just focusing on the positive, and so much beauty came out of it. And I don't know, did you watch the John Krasinski, Some Good News?
I love John Krasinski, man.
Me too.
I'll tell you this, because I was kind of new to the Office watch thing.
Die Hard 20 times through.
Love it. It's truly become one of my favorite shows, thanks to my girlfriend. And when COVID first hit, she's like, let's watch The Office.
Just marry that girl just right away. Yeah.
It's probably gonna, I'll be talking with you, but
she's the right people.
Yeah, she is, man. She's great. But she got me into The Office, and so we watched every episode start to finish in about, I don't know, 3 week period, 3-4 week. I mean, 9 seasons.
Oh, you crushed it.
But you can crank them out, man. You can
it's
crank
so good.
them out.
And then it's good to rewatch because you watch them, you binge it so hard that you're like, oh yeah, that part, yeah, I kind of forgot about. Oh, this is a great skit, I forgot about that one.
Right, I can listen to it in my earbuds, like working out, and then like I don't even need to have it like watch it. Like I know exactly. It's like a podcast to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what's going on.
Yeah, that's always
awesome.
a good.
I hear podcasting is pretty cool.
It's got a good rap.
Well,
So I think you got one more that we haven't tried.
So Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey.
Dude, Office Ladies.
The Office Ladies
they're killing
podcast.
it, yeah.
Another podcast, which is just
Tremendous.
phenomenal.
They do amazing.
They do great work.
Yeah. Those girls are fantastic. I do listen to them, and they were up for the iHeartRadio podcast of the year, and I hope they won it. I'm not sure what the results were, but they deserve it. Those two are tremendous.
So I follow Jenna Fisher on Instagram.
I do too.
And I thought she's a great follow, and she does many stories, and she bakes bread, and I also bake bread, and I do sourdough and different things, and
she's a lot of fun.
So she's a lot of fun, and so I messaged her once, and I was like, you should do a podcast, and every episode you should watch The Office and talk about it.
Did you really tell her that before Office Ladies?
Yeah, and I said like that would be so cool, and I didn't hear anything back, and 3 months later they announced this thing, and I'm like, that was my idea. No, it probably wasn't. It's probably their idea. And a million people had it, and it was probably
you
reiterated it.
You were one of the twigs.
But
that
I was like
fire.
that's what I wanted. And I was so excited, and then I got to
awesome.
listen to
That's
it, and I was
cool.
like, it was phenomenal. But yeah, I totally, I had that idea. I mean, I'm sure people have been telling them that for years, but yeah, I was so excited when they announced that, because I'm like, I would love to learn more about The Office as an Office nerd. And so one of the things we do at the store is we have date nights, like couples, like their couples and their happiness and is really important to us. So we'll have like once in a while, we'll have like a date night at the store. So we'll invite you and your significant other, and then you can invite some friends, and we'll do like a trivia night. So we did Office trivia. Okay. So everything was just about The Office, and you come with your friends, and then like it was just 40 people because we don't have that much space. Mm-hmm. And I wrote all the questions myself. And at the end of each question, we would like play the clip that had the answer in it.
Oh, that's cool.
After we would announce the answer and mark the team, and like we like it was 10 teams and 4 people per team, and so like we had Creed was on one table, and Angela was on one table, and Jenna and John, and so like everybody, or otherwise known as Pam and Jim, and so everybody the Dwight table, and so it was really cool, and so like we had all the points, and we'd stack it up, and it was just a ton of fun, and we've done Friends trivia. It's like the 2 shows that like I know kind of inside out.
Nice.
So I think our next one we put it to the group after, we're like, you guys want to do Parks and Recs?
Yeah,
like, what do you want to do?
I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah, so I think our next one's gonna be Parks and Rec.
I've watched that one twice.
Cool,
I've watched Office probably 4 or 5 times.
I've seen Office twice through now in its entirety.
Yeah, and was the second time better than the first?
It was, man. I said it on the show a couple weeks ago. I forget what guest we had on. I said I teared up on the finale.
Right,
the second time through. And Phillips was like, she's like, I'm just glad that we have all this documented so I can look back on it.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's so nice.
Right.
And I love when Michael Scott shows up in the end, in the finale.
Don't ruin it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. Right?
I mean, if you haven't seen it by
if
now,
you haven't seen Office, I'm not
if
going to
you haven't
ruin
right, spoiler alert.
Yeah, no,
on.
you're right. I'm not going to spoil the end, but I like the interaction with Dwight and him for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I still, and I don't know, I've probably watched it, like I said, a dozen or two times, and every time I watch the final episode, and I usually will start from the beginning, and I won't jump around, and I watch it throughout, and the final episode comes, and I cry.
Yeah, man, I cried.
Like, man, like
I'm glad I'm not alone.
right?
No, and it feels good to cry, man.
Right?
Like it's important. That's the modern man movement. Hashtag modern man.
That's right.
Yeah, Art's cried a lot on this pod. I haven't cried on the pod, but I'll cry when I watch The
John
Office.
started getting a little.
Oh yeah, John X shed some tears on this
I forgot
show.
what we were talking about, but it really was moving me. And when you were telling me about the person,
Yep.
you know, your clients that care about you, like I almost started getting a little teary there because it's a beautiful like if you can appreciate those sort of acts and like, you know, actually see them for what they are, like, you know, that's what makes life worth living. You know, with COVID happening, there's a lot of loss around us that, you know, is coming faster than it should. You know,
Yeah.
There's all these diseases, and life is a fickle thing. Like it's temporary, and so to find beauty in those sort of moments, I think is so crucial and important for people to focus your energy on that, because that's around. You know, and you can centralize your mind around that, opposed to just reacting to it's easy to be negative.
So true.
You know, but it's difficult to sit there and actually be like, man, my life is good. You know, I have it covered. Like I work hard. I have my bills paid. I eat food. Like I'm good to go. Like, you know, it's hard to like appreciate ourselves sometimes. And so like moments like that, I think it's good to talk about that, because you know, there's an energy there, and if maybe someone's missing out on that energy this week, you know, they got a taste of it there, and so I love stuff like that, man.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, and then it made me think, I'm like, who should I reach out to? And who should I do that for, right? Whether it's a restaurant owner, or like, should we order takeout, or, you know, who's that person in my life that I should reach out for, or people in my life that I should, you know, or who are the people that, you know, are servers that they're like, we lost our jobs and now we're just living on, on that, $600 and plus, the unemployment. Like who are those people in our lives that we can reach out to? So that was kind of important, and my wife and kids, we talked about that, and we decided to give some money to charity and support a couple of different things. But that was definitely a conversation we had, and looping back with some good news. Like there were some beautiful things that people were doing in their communities, and I was just like, it was so touching, and it was so special. I cried
every single episode on that.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah.
It was a great show. John Krasinski did a great job with it.
Like it's like a laugh cry where you're like,
it was.
Right.
There was
so beautiful.
And he's so funny, and every time he gets up,
he's in his undies.
What's he wearing this week? Oh, he was actually wearing sport.
He wears a tutu, or he wears underwear, right? Like you just never know. Like
John Krasinski is an amazing man for sure. Did you see A Quiet Place?
I did.
And the second one's supposed to be coming this year.
Okay.
It was supposed to drop
we finished the first
but
one, and then we're like, when's the second one coming out? Like, that was so good.
Quiet Place was good, man. It was good. And I watched that before I watched The Office.
Did you really?
That was my introduction to John Krasinski, and then I saw him as Jim Halpert, who we all know and love.
Right.
Who doesn't love Jim Halpert?
Who doesn't love Jim Halpert?
Your Office prankster? Come on. If I could come up with pranks half as creative as he can.
Good.
He's good, man.
Dude, I try to prank my girlfriend.
What's your favorite prank?
Okay, so right now I got a couple of them. So my favorite ongoing prank is hiding my girlfriend's phone, and it's because she has the Apple Watch, so she could ping it.
Oh no!
And so if I hide it in the right place, like she's like, "Where's the ping coming from?" Like I've hid it behind picture frames and stuff, so it's like it's in the hallway. But
and she knows this is a thing.
Yeah, I'm into that. Yeah, so that's fun
good.
for me.
What's your favorite gym prank?
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking personal.
No, that's a good one. I like that one. If I did it to my wife, I would be sleeping on the couch. But
yeah. No, that one's fun. Man, there's so many good ones. You know.
Do you remember the one with Asian Jim?
Yes, of course. That was classic.
That one's
oh my
hilarious.
god, that one killed me. And the first time I watched it, I was like,
that might be one of the best.
Especially
ones.
when
they replaced Jim.
When he kisses Pam, it's like, oh shit.
And then he was in the picture.
So the one where he does the quarters in the phone.
Oh my god,
that one cracks me up. Like I every night I've been adding a couple quarters into this or whatever, and then
because it's remove them all in one shot, so he hits himself in the head with the phone.
and that was part of the skit where it's like he's in the office, they're in the meeting, and Dwight's like, and he pulled this prank, and he pulled this prank on me,
names all of them.
Yeah, and Jim's just sitting there like, oh yeah,
that was good.
Yeah. That was in that lineup. And that one was great, dude. I love that one.
That was great.
There were some good ones. I like when he built the super desk.
Mega desk.
Mega desk. That's what it was.
Desk.
That was a good
Dwight's
one.
all answering the phone down low.
Yeah.
I call this
What a
quad
great show.
desk.
Yeah.
But it's only 3. Oh, I guess you're right. And then he calls his phone. Dwight Schrute calls under.
Oh,
Yeah.
good
I like
So
when
brilliant.
I like when Jim showed up dressed as Dwight. You know, and he's playing the part. You
So
know,
good.
he's all
Michael?
Michael, and then Dwight gets up, Michael. That's a good one.
Blurry. That's better.
Yeah, and he made
Yeah.
he made some Dwight Schrute comment about bears or something. You know, the black bear versus
Bears,
bears.
Oh, yeah,
Beats,
yeah, yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
That's,
Hell yeah.
yep. That's good stuff, man. There's a
Yeah.
lot of good Jim pranks, man.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. I mean, so like when I was doing trivia for the office, and I had to write all the questions, I got to sit down and like I was watching each episode, and I tried to write like a question or two, and then I would see what would make the cut at the end. But one of my favorite questions that only like a few people got was when Jim had to send the rundown. Right, remember Jim was
with
doing the
with new
rundown,
manager.
right, with the new
Yeah.
manager, and so he had to send the rundown, and you know he was asking all these questions like, what type of rundown? Can I see your
Yeah.
format? Like I don't know, like
What's the rundown?
it's a triathlon. I'm gonna run to the rundown, like swim to the run, like he's like this whole thing, and so he's like, all right, well send the rundown to your contact list, and Jim's like, oh, just the one I have, like, and he's like, yeah, he's like, okay. So do you remember who Jim sent the fax to? That was my question. I forgot how I phrased it exactly, but it was
Oh, who did he send it to? I have no idea. I'd like to take a guess, but I don't know.
yeah, go for it.
I would like to say like his to Pam maybe.
Okay.
No. He sent. I don't know.
I wonder if there's anybody watching and they're like, oh, I know
Yeah,
exactly
a
they,
lot of
what
people
it
know.
is.
they probably
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
I think if I knew what season number that would help me a little bit.
I have some friends that know, like, I mean, you tell them the episode, they're like, oh, that's season 6,
Season-
episode
yeah.
4. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm just like, that's crazy.
Yeah, because I know, like my girlfriend, she loves the seasons up to like 5, 6, somewhere in there. Once Saber takes over, it kind of like starts to go a little sideways. But
Thunder
who does
Mifflin
Jim
is a
send
pot
the
of
fax to?
Sabre.
Sabre. Yeah.
Sabre, yeah. Nope, don't like that.
Right.
Man, who does Jim send the fax to?
We'll put it in the comments. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Be a teaser for the end.
So people are chomping at the bit right now. I know.
No, what is it? What is
Yeah,
it?
what is it, man?
He sends it to his dad.
His dad. Okay.
He sends it to his dad.
Okay.
And so, like, two of the teams got it right, and nobody else. They were like, oh, shit, like, what
That's
do
a
we
good
do?
question.
And that was a good one. And so, like, somebody asked, like, oh, one of your questions should be, like, what was the office has a surplus, and they have a whole debate whether they should buy new chairs or a new
Yes,
copier.
yes.
How much was a surplus? And I'm
It
like,
was
that's
$1,500.
I'm like, that's way too hard of a question.
Wasn't it 1,500?
I don't.
It was
I don't
12 to
remember exactly.
1,500.
It
I do
was like,
remember that.
yeah, something
And I
like
remember
that.
Pam went hard on the campaign of we need new office chairs because my chairs suck.
I'm gonna step to the head really quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm gonna do the same once you get back because we're going long again. We still got a fourth whiskey to drink, so
Right,
we're
right.
far from done, ladies and gentlemen. We're far from done. But yeah, so Pam was advocating for
the new chairs.
and I think it was let's see, was Stan or Kevin Malone or no, it was Oscar. Oscar was like, "We need the copier.
copier.
We need it."
Right, him and Jim, right? Because Jim
Yeah.
didn't want to make his own copies anymore.
Yep, he's like, "We got to have the new copier because this thing's junk." And they were
That's
all
right.
like demonstrating. You know, Pam's like, "Oh no, it works just fine. Look, it works." You know, and yes.
Right.
That's right. So the chairs versus the copier, and they ended up getting. Was that the same episode where Michael Scott fell in love with the catalog with the office chair girl, the picture of her?
You know, I think that was a different episode
Okay.
because they ended up at the graveyard, and you know, remember that, and like
Dwight tracked
for
it down.
closure, right?
Yeah, she like died in a car
But,
accident or
but
something.
yeah, but I like that The Office does that, right? They bring the storyline back, and I think it's so smart how they do that. Like they mention things and they bring it back later.
The writers did a great job.
Oh my god,
Tremendous.
They're phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
all those guys, and you know, John Krasinski went to school with Ryan. What's his? It's his.
Ryan,
He's another Boston guy. Who's what's his name? But yeah, him and Mindy Kaling are big writers on the show. I can't believe I forgot his name. I guess we drank too much.
it's possible.
Yeah.
It was cool to see some of the casting tapes that Peacock just released. Did you
Yes.
see any of those?
Yeah.
Where, I mean, there was a lot of people that auditioned for roles that I didn't even realize ever would have auditioned. You know, Cal Penn, I think, or not Cal Penn, but the guy that played Harold in Harold and Kumar, he auditioned for Jim Halpert.
Yeah, that's right.
Seth Rogen.
Seth
I think
Rogen.
He auditioned for, was it
Dwight?
Dwight? Yeah.
It was so cool.
It was cool to see those audition
so a lot
tapes.
of that stuff is on YouTube.
Is it?
So you
Okay.
can you could just pound like some of that, like the outtakes and some of the, and it's phenomenal. And like you start laughing. So there was one where Jim and Pam were moving to Philly.
Yes.
So Pam interviewed for a job and she met another Michael Scott. I forget his actor name, but he actually auditioned to be Michael.
Okay.
And so like some of the lines were like verbatim what he used for his audition tape.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Those were cool to see.
Yeah.
Did you see any of those, Art? The audition tapes of the Office original cast?
Yeah.
Some of the actors and actresses that threw their hat in the ring.
Right, we're talking like Joe Rogan was like went for Dwight and
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, not
Seth
Joe Rogan.
Rogen, yeah.
Seth Rogen
Okay,
went
no, I
for
didn't quite
Dwight.
see
And,
all of those.
Those were cool, man.
I saw some of the casting, some of the casting tapes.
Yeah. That was cool to look back on.
Do you need to use that?
I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
I'll take a run if you guys want to do a little more office chatter. You got to run the board.
That's fine.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we can do this. We
still got-
talked about this before we started. We press record.
Right. No, I think it's so great that you guys have this all figured out, and you're like, yeah, we go for it.
Well, I mean, this is. I mean, we want to have some drinks with you. Get to know you, and just like let people be a part of it. Because
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lost art. Is people
Yeah.
just sitting around talking.
It's true.
But you're in sales, so you're a good talker.
Yeah, I've been in sales for I would say pretty much my whole life, and it's funny. I'm also very competitive. So when we were kids, we used to play a lot of Monopoly and Risk and different board games.
Oh,
and,
Risk is one of my favorites.
right?
Yeah.
So when we played Monopoly, I would like invent things like insurance. So you were close to my yellow properties, and you're about to land on Marvin Gardens or Ventnor Avenue or or Atlantic, and I would say something like hey, you're a 7 away from landing on Ventnor or whatever the property was. I haven't played in so long because my wife doesn't let me play anymore because I'm too competitive.
Because you come up with insurance.
Right. I say you're about to land. I got 3 houses on each, and I used to know. I mean, like that the values. Like if you bought 3 houses on each, like how much if you landed on me, I would know off the top of my head, and so. And the 3 houses on each, I still remember it was the best value if anybody, still plays. But so 3 houses on each or the hotels, like that's kind of where the value comes in. But I would tell whoever's close to landing on me, like, hey, like pay me insurance, and then if you land on me, like you pay me $200, you land on me, I won't charge you, even though it's $850. And so my dad's like, man, I don't know how, but and I was like 11 or 12 at the time. He's like, you're gonna be in sales somehow, and he's like, you're gonna be successful. And so I was like, well, I don't know what that means, but you want to buy insurance? And he's like, yeah, I'll take the insurance.
I mean, sales is fun, man.
Yeah, sales is fun. I just love the people. To me,
so selling cars was a strenuous job, but like it was fun helping people get a good vehicle. And
how long did you sell cars for?
3 years.
Where?
Champ.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Was that easier than other dealerships since they're like one price? And
yeah, it wasn't bad, and you like carried the whole transit. I could talk cars and that whole stuff for a long time, but like sales is interesting though because like you learn to relate with people, like you find common ground, and that's part of the sales thing is like how can I relate, like how can I get them talking about anything else other than what we're doing here, because that's how you truly build a bond is good questions. It's
true.
And it sounds like you do have good questions. Like you get to know your customers really well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's to me, it's not a taught art. It's just I just enjoy people, and it's just it's kind of fun to get to know people, and also you develop your network that way in your community, and so that's something that I really love doing. And the more I've gotten into cycling or hockey or bourbon, like we're creating these communities, and so like on Strava right now we have a small club called Bulow Cycling. And so if you're on Strava and you could just look up Bulow Cycling, feel free to join and I'll let you in. And then I think when it gets warmer outside, we're going to start doing like Sunday morning rides. And, we can do, some intense ones or some relaxed ones, but we'll support each other and help each other out and work on different things like cadence and this and that. But it's a great forum to support each other in just a community way.
Now are you doing bikes where you could change the gears so like your cadence can...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I use an app called Zwift. And so Zwift talks to my trainer. And so my trainer is a Wahoo kicker, And so if I'm going up a hill, it'll make it really difficult. So I have to change gears to make it easy for myself. And then so it'll show like a 9% incline or a 10% incline. And then all of a sudden it'll drop off, and then like -4, -7, -10, -12. And you're just flying. I mean, the screen says you're going 45 miles an hour and you're only putting out 200 watts. And so it's pretty cool to say you have to change gears and you got to mess with it. But thank God it does that, because or else, like, literally, I'd go out of my mind. I mean, it's so boring riding indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you have
that's
something
awesome.
interactive like a true Peloton.
Yeah. I mean, they're cool, man.
I've never ridden one.
They're fun. I mean,
I would love to try
They got
one.
the strap-in shoes and everything. It's a super smooth ride, and I mean, it's the whole idea behind just, you know, being active and seeing all the stats does help my motivation level. I'll say that. But you know, like today, man, like, you know, last week I only worked out twice. You know, I still worked out during that week, but only twice. And then this week, today was my third day. Yesterday was kind of like I didn't quite push it as hard as I could have, and then the day before, like. And then so I came on today and I like really wanted to work out, but then once I started working out, like it was a pain in my ass.
You didn't have it, right? Your legs were dead.
Yeah, I was like having a hard time. I wanted to quit like 3 times during the workout. And there's just something about going through that and finding like the stride, like, okay, I'm not looking at the clock. Like, let me just stay, and then just feeling like Hundo said it. And once Hundo, like, he was one of our old guests, and he said, like, when you're working out and you, it's your mind and your body and movement, and you're in that
Rhythm.
that moment, like there's something about that, and so like I get into that from time to time when I'm working out, and that helps push me through. But
Nice.
there's something about that process of wanting to do it, wanting to quit while you're doing it, finishing doing it, and like you just feel accomplished afterward, and
So-
that's the best thing about working out to me.
As a cyclist too, recovery days are super important.
Yeah.
So those days where you ride when your legs are dead are actually very important, and you shouldn't push it too hard on those days, but it's important to get that half hour to an hour in, just spin your legs out and just keep moving. So you want to keep a higher cadence and, you know, have your wattage way down. And all of us, you know, we're like, oh, we're competitive, you know, like once you're like 20 minutes into it, you're like, I'm going to start pushing it now. On some of those days, it's better not to, because it's better to push on the next day.
Yeah.
So those recovery rides are important. So when you kind of tell yourself, man, I don't think I have it today, that's recovery day. Take it
Yeah.
easy and recover. And then the next day, push it a little bit harder. But take
Yeah.
advantage of those recovery days. Those are really important, and they help you build your base.
Yeah.
So they help you with stamina, and they help, you know, just strengthen your core and your legs and your breathing and your neck. And I mean, there's so much that goes on into it. I mean, you're hunched over, right? So I don't know about the Peloton as well.
I'll do some weights though too.
So you'll sit up on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll kind of do both. Shoot, what was I gonna say? Completely forgot, but I didn't forget about the whiskey.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Let's have
right
a fourth
now.
whiskey.
Yeah,
Because
can
I'll
we
tell you
try
this,
that?
man. I'm not good at doing working out or doing bicycling. It's something I'd really like to get back into to be a little bit more active. But what I am good at doing is drinking, and I do too much of it, Avi. That's the truth.
So what is this one
So,
that we're trying?
you
whiskey number 4.
Exercise your liver all the time.
I do,
Hey,
man.
it's exercise.
My liver
It
looks
counts.
okay though. My
Good.
doctor might argue, but I think it's all right. So what do we got going on here?
So which one is that? Is that
This is the fourth one
is
we
that
haven't had
Molly's? So
What does it say?
Molly's
yet? Molly Spirits.
Molly's is also a local store. There's, I think, 2 of them in Denver. I drove out to the one more south Denver, and I picked up this bottle. One of my buddies that knows that I like Eagle Rare store picks, he's like, hey man, I was just in Molly's and they dropped it, but you have to ask for it. And so I went in there and I asked one of the employees, I'm like, hey, do you have that Eagle Rare store pick? And they're like, yeah, no problem, let me get you one. And so they limit it 1 per customer, but this bottle is phenomenal.
Okay. You saved the best for last kind of thing? Is that how we
no,
poured
not
it?
necessarily actually. But this would be this is my top 2. So yeah.
Look at all these bottles in the camera shot here. I'm going to have to move these out of the way, Avi, I think.
Okay, yeah, it's a little messy, but that's fine.
That's okay.
You know, this is
'Cause
this is episode
so
85.
This one, though, this is the one we're doing right now. So I'll leave that one there.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've done whiskey tasting on Discussion Combustion, by the way.
Nice.
So we appreciate you bringing all
Yeah,
these in.
absolutely.
So whiskey number 4, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much spicier.
Oh.
Well, that one's got a little bit of a...
You know, I kind of like the spice and the kick though.
Is that growing on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's like, you know
We have to do
how
now.
I got all this. That's how I got that.
See, my dad told me it was from eating mushrooms. I love mushrooms.
Really?
He said mushrooms would put hair on your chest. That's what Dad told me the whole life.
I've never heard of that.
But then I became an alcoholic, so
That's
maybe that's
great.
what it is.
Yeah.
Do you have a hairy
That's good.
chest?
I do have a hairy chest. I'm a hairy man, but my dad used to tell me, he goes, eat this, it'll put hair on your bones.
Hair on your bones?
That's what he used to tell me. Instead of mushrooms, he would say, put hair on your bones. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
This is a good one, man. I like this one.
Yeah.
Definitely a good whiskey, no question about it. This has been delicious.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a picture of one of these. And so you think I should probably ask? Like,
So
what
speaking
are
of
these-
hair and cycling, most real cyclists most guys that are really intense will shave their legs.
Is it aerodynamics or what?
No, I think it's actually because if you fall, the hair can like rip out your skin and like, so they're trying to avoid. I think that's what someone explained to me, and it's my buddy Adam that shaves his legs. And so I make fun of him all the time for shaving his legs, and my legs are not shaved.
Naturally.
And I'm very proud of not shaving my legs, and I still go on more intense rides, and I'll ride with some of the guys at the PHP group, which is the Park Heights Peloton, and these guys this past year have pushed it so hard, and I wasn't able to keep up with them for the first 6-7 rides, and finally built my way into it and was able to keep up with them the whole time. But these guys are flying 28, 29 miles an hour. I mean, these guys are super strong, and some of them are Cat 3, Cat 2 racers.
Yeah.
But most of
Sounds
these guys
intimidating.
shave their legs, and so I am not at that level yet. So as much as I enjoy cycling,
You're not shave your legs cycling.
I don't know enough to shave my legs yet. Yeah.
I think swimmers do that too. Don't some swimmers shave their legs?
That's aerodynamics, right?
That would
yeah.
be.
Well, you're a swimmer.
Well, I guess it would be like water dynamics because it's not.
Right.
Or kind of the same theory. Though.
I mean, I'll never shave my arms or my legs. I've buzzed this down. I've cleaned up the belly. The lower back has to get tamed. Of course, the genitalia
Manscaped.
area.
My girlfriend got me Manscaped.
And the pits. But I've never touched...
Whoa! What do you mean
Wait,
the pits?
whoa, time out.
Yeah,
You guys don't clean up your pits?
bro. You're not shaving your armpits.
No, but it's like a buzz. It's like a buzz. It's not shaved. So it's like a one buzz. Right now, mine are long. No, but dude, if you have never
shaving pit here, bro.
no, if you've never done it,
Oh,
you need
see,
to try
I'm the
it.
same as you. I'm like, yeah.
You guys need to try it.
But for why? What do you gain from it?
Because you gain less sweating and things that hold the sweat.
Really?
And it's just it's a little more comfortable and it looks better. Like, you think this looks attractive? Like, I have this arm thing like with all these scraggles coming out of it. Like, that doesn't look good.
I hear that.
But hair on her face does.
But I've never
I hear
done
that.
my
I used to have a
legs.
beard, and I no shave November. I actually did the mustache.
Oh, you did
And
Movember?
I did Movembered it, and my 4-year-old and my 8-year-old. I have 2 daughters and 2 sons. My daughters, 9-year-old and 4-year-old, they were very displeased. They were like, I had very similar beard to you, but I shaved it off and I just had a mustache.
Yeah.
And they were just like,
No thanks.
"Whoa, hey, what are you doing? You look like a pedophile."
Why is the mustache so creepy?
Yeah, why does the mustache give off that
They were
pervert
not
vibe?
happy. My 9-year-old told me, she said, "I'm gonna shave that off while you're sleeping." And I said,
They didn't like
what?
it.
What are you talking about? I was like, So we kind of talked about it, and she's like, "It just doesn't look good." And she said, "You don't look as handsome as you usually do." And I said, "Well, sweetie," I said, it's first of all, it brings attention to prostate awareness, and I said, not only that, I said, this might be a good lesson that we shouldn't take ourselves so seriously because we're just people, and we're here to hang out and do good in this world, and so she's like, I still don't like it. And so we actually got family pictures, I think on like the 17th or 18th. And so I shaved it off because my wife very sweetly requested that she didn't want to be married to a pedophile in our family pictures. And so she appreciates if I took it off. And so I acquiesced to her request.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm sure I told this one before, but once growing up, my dad always had a beard growing up, and so you know where this is going. I was like, Dad, please just shave. Like, what if something and I don't know what you look like shaved, and my dad he shaved and he came out and it looked so awkward to me, and I bet you he felt super awkward too.
How old were you?
I was, like 13,
Okay.
like around 13, 14, impressionable. But like, it's like how I feel like when I go too close now, I'm like, oh, like I feel like a turtle. Like, I feel like I look like, so yeah, it's.
Did you tell him to put it right back?
Well, yeah, I was like, oh my God, Dad. And I was like, you should totally grow that back. Like,
So yeah,
it was
my
just weird.
dad's a big dude, and he's got this big mustache, and so he shaved it off one day, and he just came downstairs, and it was like breakfast time. We're all sitting on the table having breakfast together, and we're like, what did you do? What? You look like a turtle. Why would you shave that off? And he's like, you guys don't like it? It's so comfortable. I could feel the breeze now. We're like, no. And he's like, all right, I'll put it back. But it looked kind of awkward when he was starting to regrow it.
Well, because you're used to seeing
You get
this
used to
face
that
your
look.
whole
Yep.
life. You
Yeah.
know, and then all of a sudden it changes. So as I've seen my dad grow, he's became more gray. And one time I was gonna go meet him at Brown Palace Motel to see like the pouring. You know how they do the champagne pouring, and everyone like, oh look, they're pouring alcohol on this big glass.
Oh, is that the Christmas thing?
Yeah, it's like
For
one of
New
those.
Year's? Yeah, that's
so,
cool.
So it could be fun. But my dad, he was kind of dating new, and he had done Rogaine.
Oh no, not Rogaine. He did Just for Men.
Just for men, or wherever it dies.
I'm
it.
assuming that's what he did.
Oh, like
Where
Touch
he-
of Grey or something
Yeah, where
like
he
that.
dies.
Just for
it,
men.
where
Yeah,
it's
just for
like,
men.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rogaine regrows. Yeah,
That's right.
I
Just
always
for men
I
is
always
die.
make that mistake.
Yeah, that's kind of what people like me use. Guys like you guys don't need that, but when we lose our hair, that's what we use.
Rogaine.
Right? When our hair starts thinning, you guys look like you don't have that problem. But yeah, guys like me use Rogaine.
Okay.
If it works,
I mean, hair
you
looks
know?
good, man.
Oh,
It does
thanks,
look
yeah.
good. It
Yeah.
does. But I couldn't recognize
Right.
my dad. Like I saw him, and my girlfriend was with me. I'm like, "Is that my dad?" I'm like, "I don't know if that guy's my dad." And she's like, "That's your dad." And I'm like, "I don't think it's him." Like I threw me the f off.
Really?
When
Yeah.
you're so used to, you know, that's what you've seen for so long. Especially when they change the color, that can really throw you off. I know my pops, growing up, he had a mustache. You know, he had like that Jeff Foxworthy mustache for a
hell
little bit
yeah.
in the '90s. And so when he took that off, I was like, whoa. You know, you're so used to seeing someone a certain way. You know, it's like when someone with long hair cuts it off. But
Yeah.
I like the beard, man. It's fun. I shaved mine off in October because I did a Halloween thing for Joe Exotic. That's who I went
That's
as.
awesome.
So I got rid of everything and just rocked the Joe Exotic, you know, kind of mustache. And I've been growing it back
True
since.
handlebar.
Oh man, I did it.
Oh, how long was your beard?
About as long as it is right now.
I was gonna say in some of the other podcasts that I've watched, it looks kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the only time I've shaved it. You know, the sides and everything. I've had hair in my face since I was able to
I
grow
actually
it.
did notice that in one. Who was it with? I think the guy that actually works for what's his name? The Mountain.
Mike Patchen.
Yeah. So I think he was on, and you had a clean,
Oh, did I?
a cleaner look.
I probably could have, man. It's possible.
I did notice that, and I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I like to try to rock a little bit of facial hair. You know, I know our good buddy Craig came on a couple weeks ago and said my beard looks like you took a lint roll across a cat and then smeared it on my face. And I can appreciate that. You know,
He's one of our good old friends. So when it's just us, like we just start making fun of each other. That's kind of like our go-to.
Oh, so
Yeah.
he's coming down to drink.
That's what happens.
Jamie, the
Jamie
host,
is coming in. Man, we're almost 2 hours into this podcast.
Jamie, I got some really good bourbon to share with you.
Jamie is joining us now. This is it's episode 85. You might as well, Jamie. You should try some of this bourbon. This is
Yeah.
good stuff, dude.
So take
What are you drinking right now?
Crown. I guarantee you,
Yeah,
100%
it's
Crown Royal.
Crown.
That's
Okay.
Crown.
All right. Which one should we start him off with?
What was okay?
The
so
last one was really good.
the last, yeah.
The last one's really good. Same
that
with
was,
the first
that was
one.
the Molly's, right?
Yeah.
All right. Wait.
So
I was
so
really excited about this show because Kevin told me last night we have a whiskey guy.
We have a whiskey man on, and
I've been
sure,
trying not to drink during the week. I was like, well, hell.
yeah,
we're,
dude.
we're doing it right now.
Yeah, this has been a good
Here
one,
you go.
man.
So this is an Eagle Rare 10-year store pick. So this is picked by Molly's.
Let me sit right
You're in it for sure.
Yeah, we got you.
So this is what now?
Cheers. Eagle Rare 10-year.
Cheers, yeah.
So do we sip it or just
Yeah,
shoot
it's-
it?
Sip it.
a sip,
Sip it.
yeah.
Sip it.
It's a sip of
Sip it. I
whiskey.
enjoy it. It's a little
sip
spicy
of whiskey.
right away, but it has a really nice finish.
Huh.
It's smooth.
It's really good.
It's smooth because
That's actually really good.
we've talked about a lot tonight
I've never
about.
seen you guys so pale on one episode.
Oh yeah, we've been doing some drinking, but
I feel like I'm
bottles full.
flush.
When do you start?
Maybe he's turning
What's
pale.
that?
am I
Are those
pale?
bottles full?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Maybe I need more beer.
Those bottles are up to the
Yeah.
top. I don't know.
So do we got a word of the week,
I
Kev?
think Kevin finished those when I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, we do have a word of the week.
What's that?
Oh, we're bringing in the word of the week.
We got to do our word of
Yeah,
the week segment
Since
here.
Jamie's here, he can take a crack at it. We're gonna throw you a word,
Word
see
of
if
the
you
week.
can
Oh,
guess what it
great.
means.
Yeah.
This is fun. I think you guys probably know this. What?
I just find things funny.
It's the word of the week time, guys. You guys know that
I
you know
usually come down here and hand
you
them
can send it into all of our social media platforms. You guys know the game. Word of the week is a weekly segment. Give us your words. We've had some kind of interesting ones at times, but this week we have a fun word, and then it comes out of Sparta, Kentucky, by a gentleman by the name of Alexander.
Thank you, Alexander.
No, don't thank you. No, this is gonna be terrible.
That's gonna be great, man. And the word of the week is parabolic.
Parabolic.
Okay.
Parabolic. This is a term we use in the stock market quite a bit, so I am familiar with it.
In the stock market, I've heard it as like a parabolic microphone.
Yes, and you actually just nailed it.
Okay.
So,
I heard it in a show called Vikings.
Parabolic?
It
Yep,
sounds
so-
very mean.
any
I think it's
other...
I don't know what this means.
So,
What
use
does
in a
parabolic
sentence,
mean?
we'll use in a sentence, a parabolic mirror behind a spotlight projects a parallel beam.
So what does a parabolic microphone do?
So I've seen a parabolic microphone, yeah, because that also came up, because there's a couple different meanings with this. Like with the stock market, when we talk about parabolic, and that's why I like this word of the week, because I do a little stock trading. When something goes parabolic, it's, when the stock market's at an all-time high, or it's into its resistance point where people think it's going to crash and it goes well beyond,
Okay.
they say the stock market has now gone parabolic. We don't know where it's going at this point. Essentially, right now, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones are parabolic because they are all-time high and they're so overbought. Everyone is anticipating a crash, but the stock market is parabolic right now because it's just...
Is that like a synonymous with like volatile?
It's, well, I mean, it is and it isn't, because the stock market volatility, of course, it can go up, it can go down at any moment. But the term parabolic basically refers to, here's what we know on stock charts, but the stock market's parabolic right now because it's hit that resistance point where a sell-off should happen, but we don't have enough data to say where it can go at this point. So the stock market is parabolic as we sit. But in addition to that, because you had mentioned a parabolic microphone, which also does come up under this definition. So this was a great word of the week by Alexander from, where was he from? Sparta, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky coming
Wait,
up with
which
a,
Kentucky,
Speaking of
Yeah.
Kentucky
So,
bourbon,
yeah,
right?
You're back in, man. I got you.
Kentucky coming in with a red hot word of the week.
Oh, that was good, man. That was real good.
Yeah.
So
Kentucky, and I like it. We're sponsored by Kentucky tonight.
we got the Kentucky bourbon, bro.
So can I
Kentucky
the one that I like the most? Could I
Yeah,
have a little more taste?
Of course, yeah. So I think you like the Filno, right?
Was that the second one?
What was the first one we did? The
The first one was either Filno or Argonaut.
Argonaut was the first one.
I think I want to do the third one again.
The third one. The third one. You should try the third one. So the third one was actually brought to us right outside New Hampshire.
Oh yeah,
that
that's
hometown
that one, yeah.
whiskey,
That was
bro.
Cappy's.
Yes, please.
They went to the Packy and they got some epic whiskey, bro. Yeah, that's what it is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So yeah, try that one for sure, Jamie.
That one is.
I
want
want to try the first one again, Avi. The first
I
one, the
gotcha.
Argonaut.
So yeah, that's this
I'll
one.
That's
pour
this
you,
one.
man. I'll
Okay.
pour you.
I want to do this one more.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing this over, man.
Of
Yeah,
course,
dude,
yeah.
this
We
was
don't get a lot of gifts or guests around here that
Yeah.
bring the party.
this was a discussion combustion first with a guest bringing in 4 bottles of whiskey and glasses for us to taste
Yeah,
them out of.
what a treat.
Yeah, so it was funny. So these are called Glencairn glasses,
throwing that
and
over there
it's
for-
traditionally what you use to drink like a whiskey, a scotch, or a bourbon. And before the podcast, I was like, you know what I should really do? I should research why it is, because I don't really know. I just know that's the proper glass,
Yeah.
and I failed, and I didn't do that.
Oh, so these glasses are not correct?
No, they are, but I
Oh.
don't know why. I don't know the meaning
it's-
behind the
it's-
shape
it's
and everything,
probably-
but
it's
there
probably
is
because-
there's like a breathability and like
Yeah,
it like harnesses the
so-
smell, and so like there's a thing with it, but I don't fully understand. I meant to do the research and,
So I
and
think
kind of
it-
drop that knowledge as a smart guy, but I didn't.
I'm just going off of my opinion here. So this probably isn't actual, but I'm going to make it sound like it's right. So
We'll edit the first part out, so you just come out as super smart.
the bottom of the glass is wider, so it has a base to do the aeration, like it aerates a little bit, and then it narrows at the top, so the smell is more focused, and then while you're drinking it, what that does is it wisps the air in through the top while you're drinking it out of the bottom.
I love it.
and that helps create the taste, because when you sip something, if you sip it with your breath, you're gonna taste it more.
That's true.
So the glass helps do that.
So have you ever played the game?
Beer on the glass would be a nice glass.
I had to cross my leg and sit proper while I said that. I'm in that mood. This is nice.
So these are actually Glenfiddich. That's what you're referring to. That symbol is the Glenfiddich. That's their stag. But have you ever played the game Shenanigans?
Yes. Yeah.
So Shenanigans sounds like a game you'd be awesome at, and they give you a fact, and everybody has to read, has to make up a fact about whatever it is. So one of the questions is, why do bagels have holes? So one person has the right answer, and they tell you, and then everybody else will come up with like an answer, and then the person has to decide who is the right answer. And they'll call shenanigans on the people that are lying, and then then the one guy. So yeah, I feel like that's a game you'd be really good at.
Thank you. I've been in sales for years.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd be good at that game too. Yeah.
That's great, dude. That's great.
Man, this has been some good whiskey drinking. I'll tell you what.
This has been.
So give us the answer. Why do bagels have holes in them?
So bagels have holes in them. Kevin knows.
I don't know.
Okay, so right, you got either you got to know it or make it up right now. You're on the spot.
Yes.
Why do bagels have holes in
the
them?
reason why they do that is because your proper bagel, you boil it, right? And so boiling the bagel, it helps like getting the water boils, and it helps cooking it all the way through. Because if you had it solid, then it wouldn't cook all the way through the same.
That's actually exactly why they do it. You were spot on.
Really?
Nice.
That's the real answer, is because he cooks it evenly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
I have
Yeah,
amazing.
and I
intuition.
love
That's why
bagels.
bagels have holes in it, because
I
you
love
want it
bagels.
to have that chewy texture, and so you have the hole in it to accomplish that. And so somebody came up, we were playing the game, and someone's like, well, they do that because of the racks, and that's how they're able to mass produce them. You hang them on the rack, and it brings them through the boiling and out and then into the bake. And we're like, well, that's for sure the right answer. And the guy's like, I made that up on the spot. And we're like, damn it.
That's funny. So I got it right.
You got it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Confused there. So is that right or not?
It is.
It
I
was
think
right.
that is right. We'll have to research it and
Just trust.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure-
listeners correct us if we're wrong, but Arthur has good intuition.
The listeners probably will correct
I
us
trust
wrong,
my intuition.
but I will tell you this, man. I
call.
love bagels. A bagel and a schmear, that's one of my go-tos.
New York bagels.
They're delicious.
So Rosenberg's, have
delicious.
you been to Rosenberg?
Rosenbergs are
tremendous.
phenomenal.
But have you been to Bagel Stop in Parker, Colorado?
I have not.
Dude,
But
Bagel Stop's bomb.
Rosenberg's is they actually.
Mark Trimble
they-
does not like them.
You know they treat the water at Rosenberg's to
No, they bring in New York water.
So I heard they used to or originally, but now they treat it to get it to the hardness
Huh.
of New York water because it's not economical to bring it in.
Yeah, that's legit.
So I think they treat it so it has like the same hardness, and then they make it. But they boil all their bagels, and their bagels are phenomenal.
they are good, but they don't toast them there, and that's so interesting to me. Like they don't toast their
Never
bagel.
toast a bagel.
Yeah.
What kind of heathen are you?
No, but but their bagels are delicious, and they just
Oh, yeah.
put schmear on it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Bagel Stop in Parker is like it's been there forever. Like my brother worked there
It's
growing
good.
up as a teenager. Like it's been around, and it's worth the drive. Like it's worth the drive. You like I always get the lox cream cheese on a jalapeno
yeah.
bagel. That's the shit.
Yes.
I see. I like garlic bagels and or everything. bagels.
Everything. I'm an
Everything is
guy.
usually my
Everything
go-to.
bagel. Yeah. So you toast a bagel. Here's what you're supposed to. You toast a bagel, or this is like from my New York friends that like I said, oh, I love bagels toasted, and they're like, you don't toast a bagel if it's fresh. They're like,
Yeah.
Javi, what are you talking about? So they kind of schooled me on that. But you toast a bagel when it's a day or two old, and then you can put the cream cheese whatever on.
Okay.
But when it's fresh, you don't toast it. You
Really?
just have it. Oh yeah. Now if you go to like Dunkin' Donuts where their bagels are like
Meh.
yeah,
Schmeh.
then yeah, toast it because it'll taste better. But a really good bagel, like a Rosenberg bagel,
Interesting.
don't toast that. You
And
eat that
those are
fresh,
good
and it's
bagels.
phenomenal. It has that pull to it, where you pull
Yeah.
it away from your mouth, and it has that chewiness to it. And
Mm.
oh man, those bagels are awesome.
Dude, I'm craving some carbs, and I'm craving it now.
Bagels are good. Now, what's the go-to cream cheese? Do you like just like a basic, Philadelphia kind of whipped spread, or do you do like a little bit of chives? Some people like salmon cream cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a traditional guy, just straight cream cheese. But I also love spicy, so I'll load it up with like, depends what mood I'm in. But I'll put fresh jalapeno on my bagel, and then I'll put I'll do anything but capers and salmon. That's my go-to. Cream cheese, caper,
Yeah.
salmon.
Oh, so you do the
man.
traditional lox.
Like that's my jam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, I like
I'm a
the-
Jewish guy.
Well,
like,
and yeah.
this is like
Yeah,
this
I
is
like
this
the
is my
lox cream
this is my
cheese.
heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're from the Long Island area.
That's
you know?
right.
So he already knew why there was a hole in the bagel.
No, but he was trying to see what kind of creative
Right.
He knew it. I didn't know
Arthur
it.
was
I
gonna
didn't
come
know
up with
it.
something cool.
I just fucking
I didn't know.
I'm
whatever.
glad he said something because that was going to horse shit again.
Yeah.
Dude, sometimes my horse shit is the purest.
I like bagel sandwiches, dude. I'll tell you that. That's one of the things my girlfriend and I do a lot. We'll make a bagel sandwich. So, kind of like a Dunkin' Donuts has like a big and toasty or something like that.
Yeah.
Just your traditional a fried egg, 2 slices of bacon on an everything bagel with a light dosing of cream cheese spread. You got yourself a
Money.
good sandwich, bro.
It's a good sandwich.
Yeah. So you ever what are those glasses that you have the screw on top with the mason jars? So what I learned was what you do is you take the top of the mason jar, you put butter on the inside of it, and then you put butter on the back your griddle. You put the mason jar down. just the top of it, not the jar, and without the middle piece in it, right? So it's kind of hollow. And then you crack an egg right on top of that. Now it cooks the egg on a low temperature, on a low heat, and it cooks it perfectly. And then you have this perfect like circle that goes right on top of.
That's why the egg McMuffins are so
Yes,
good.
and so like I was trying to imitate that. So what you do is you take that same top of the, you take the same top and you kind of press it down on the bread and you turn it, and now you have the bread that matches up perfectly with your egg size. So like I make my kids and I put cheese on it, and then I make them like this
yum.
perfect sandwich in the morning, and they're blown away when I did it. I don't know how I think I watched a YouTube video about hacks or something, and I was like, I gotta try this because I'm a big breakfast
I love
guy.
those top 10 hack videos. I love that type of
Yeah,
shit.
so like it was one of those, and I'm a big breakfast guy. Every morning I'll make my kids egg in the basket. I'll make waffles or pancakes or
Sundays.
something.
Gotta have a big breakfast.
Yeah, so I do it every day with my kids. We wake up early and I take orders and I tell them the kitchen closes at 8, school starts at 8:30, so you got to get them, going. But they get to put in their breakfast orders, and I make a breakfast every morning for them. And
That's
so
awesome.
That was a cool
You're
thing.
a great dad for doing that, man.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Dude,
breakfast.
you just got all this energy, man.
I know. All of a sudden, he's father of the fucking year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
look at this
dude.
guy. Well, and he's also like checking people on the hockey rink while,
man.
while either
Staying away from people.
getting a dope pass or throwing an awesome pass, and then also hooking it up with the bling. Avi, you're covering a lot of bases, man.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Crushing the breakfasts, bro. So I want to know about the blintzes. Are you messing with blintzes?
Blintzes. Oh, you're a man that knows what you're talking about. Man of culture right here. So
I'm in the
yeah,
business.
Potato blintzes. That's kind of potato and cheese.
Oh, bomb, dude. Bomb.com. And I
Yeah.
come from a Polish heritage, so I love pierogies.
okay.
And pierogies are big too. I'm sure you know.
Of course.
We got
Yeah.
I sell in the kosher industry, we got a little bit of the golden, the potato and cheese pierogies.
Hell yeah.
Those are delicious.
Yeah.
We got a pierogi factory here in Denver. They do pretty good.
Which one?
It's right off of, it's like Wadsworth and just north of 70, the pierogi factory. It's pretty good.
Within 70. Okay, right near the Costco?
Pierogi.
You ever had a pierogi?
It's like 44th?
When I asked if I know what is it?
It's like potato inside of like a noodle sort of thing.
It's almost, yeah, it's a pierogi. What's the best way to describe it, Avi?
It's it's like a big ravioli, but only potato on the inside.
potato, cheese stuffed.
But it still has like a dough.
Yeah. Fry it
It's
up.
like a potato ravioli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
Basically, yeah.
a lot of different ways you can
They're
serve
good.
it,
Or you can put egg in it, or chorizo and potato, and like there's a bunch of different ways to do it.
Pierogi. They're bomb, man.
amazing.
They're bomb.com for
Yeah,
sure.
they're good.
My starches.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
You would love it, being from your German kind of food. It's very similar to it.
Yeah, it is very similar. Yeah, Polish and German food. I mean, yeah, there's a
Super
lot of
similar, man.
similarities. Yeah.
I love sauerkraut. Kapusta.
I love
Kapusta
sauerkraut.
is a huge dish that I grew up on, which
I
is
put sauerkraut on my burgers. I mean,
I'm in. I am in.
I'm starting to
love
get hungry, guys.
sauerkraut.
So I've been trying to diet
I mean,
recently.
sauerkraut on
You
like,
guys have this guy over everywhere.
right?
know,
Sauerkraut
yeah,
on a good hot dog with
Avi just comes
mustard,
back with us
and that's
every
it.
Wednesday.
Sauerkraut, mustard, and onions. That's all
That's
I
it.
need.
That's it.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I could even skip the onions and just go sauerkraut and mustard, but yeah, the onions do add
They add
a
a
little.
nice
Raw
flavor.
onion guy.
I love
fry
onions.
some
I love onions,
but
too.
I'm not a raw onion guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all, personal preference.
Right.
Delicious food.
Yeah,
And,
my kids, it's so funny seeing them. Like, my son will be like, I want an omelet this morning. I'm like, what do you want in it? He's like, I want onions and tomatoes, and I want, peppers and this and that. And then my daughter will be like, I want jalapenos in it. And then he'll like, I'll have jalapenos too, right? Just because she's younger than him. So he's like, I got to one-up her. But it's everyone's preferences. And yeah, the kids are hilarious in the morning with
That's awesome.
their orders.
So
Yeah.
it seems like, this will be a good question for you, man. We generally like to ask our guests this question. If you could give a piece of advice or a word of encouragement to humanity to help better humans moving forward in life, like what would be the one piece of advice that you would give the people?
I give the people one love, I guess. I mean, we're all a community of people. I mean, we're a Jewish family, and we have our Jewish community, and we have our larger community, which is the people that live next to us, and then we have our Bulow jewelers community, and all those people I hold very near and dear to my heart. But there's that Beatles song that like, what if there was no religion, and what if there was no borders, and what if like what if we're just one people and one love, and so I just like just love your fellow man, and that's it. Like, and it's also a big Jewish value is treat your fellow neighbor as you wish to be treated. And I think that's a big Christian one too, and I think that's so important, and treat everyone with respect and love and kindness, and your life will be happier and so will theirs.
For sure.
I think that's my answer.
Especially nowadays.
Especially
Yeah,
nowadays.
we need it more than ever, man.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, to wrap this thing up, dude, this has been, so to put in perspective, this is the longest episode we've ever done in
we keep
Discussion
doing this
Combustion
every
history. We keep
You guys
just,
can't end now. There's still whiskey.
we
There's
just
more
keep,
whiskey in the
we keep setting the
bottles.
bar higher and higher. You know, we had Avi in here with the whiskey, and man, that was delicious. I'll tell you that. What a great, comfortable buzz from all that. I
Right?
mean, really, really
Solid.
smooth.
Yeah,
no
solid.
hangover tomorrow either.
Yeah.
With the 10-year, you're gonna feel great.
We're gonna feel good, man.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
Thanks for bringing that,
pleasuring
man.
my palate.
Yeah, of course.
This was good.
Thanks for drinking on your limited January.
Yeah. It went from dry January to
To
drink
limited
less
to
yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah. I've been
Not
drinking
fuck it,
less.
'cause
We
you
were
been working out.
responsible.
Yeah.
You were responsible. How was the last
you were
one?
trying not
Was
to
that the
drink
one you
in
wanted?
January?
Yeah, it was delicious.
Nice.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to drink in January?
Yeah, no, but I went 4 or 5 days completely no drinks in January, and I've cut down the amount of drinks I would normally have, and end a lot of nights with water and tea opposed to whatever beverage I have in bed. You know, so I've been trying to improve, and that was something that I wanted to do for myself after doing Sober October 2 years. The first year I did Sober October, none of those healthy habits stuck, and I just went right back to the same unhealthy habits. And then so after the second Sober October, I wanted to make sure that was making an impact on my life, and that's why so soon I wanted to try to give myself another challenge
Good for you.
to slow it down. You know, because it's about long-term changes, and it's not easy to believe and achieve, guys. Believe and achieve. It's not easy to make these changes. It's hard to change the food that we ate. It's hard to push yourself to work out, you know, and make sure that you're recovering still, and but still push yourself. It's hard to drink less. You know, it's hard to get yourself out there and be more social. You know, it's hard to do these things. It's hard to give that presentation in front of people. You know, it's part of life, and these things are difficult, and they're difficult for a reason. It's supposed to be a challenge, because when you overcome a challenge, that's when you're going to feel the achievement, and remember to pat yourself on the back for all the goals that you've already achieved, because we have to remember that we're winners already. Even though we got a new goal, we're still a winner. So believe and achieve that. That's my believe and achieve for the week. You know, that I mean, we can all do it.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Christ. Bring in the 80s music.
Dude, the
Yeah, that was
soapbox
beautiful.
raw. You
Yeah.
know, I got to do this at least once an
Right.
episode where I preach a little bit. I got to preach a little bit because I'm struggling and I'm pushing through the tough times,
dude.
and you can do it too. Like I want to punch the camera.
Yeah.
Let's
Absolutely.
go.
I know. Let's do this.
Right?
We can do it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we can, man.
That's awesome. So one of the things, and I think community is so important, especially supporting each other with something like that. And so one of the things I do is I have a group of guys that I get together with, and we drink bourbon and we play poker. It's poker night, but it's an excuse to drink and hang out. But I was gonna say, and everyone brings a unique and rare bottle.
Oh, interesting.
And so we all get to sample these like phenomenal bottles of whiskey. So whoever has endured our yammering on for so long, if they want to reach out and be part of that, or I have this phenomenal bottle called George T. Stag, and if anybody knows what that is and you've listened this long, you're welcome to come down to the shop and I'll give you a pour. And that's what turned me onto bourbon originally,
yeah,
and
so
that is
tell
the
people
best
where you're
bourbon
at.
I've ever had in my entire life. George T. Stag. It's one of the 5 antique collection of the Buffalo
Ooh.
Trace. And when you guys come down, I'll pour you a glass.
We're coming down there, Avi.
Hell yeah. So I'm downtown on 16th and Champa. We're on the 12th floor of the university building. We validate parking on 15th and Champa, so when you come down, you don't have to worry about finding a parking spot, because downtown can be intimidating. But we're there because it's central for everyone, and we feel like, you know, we can reach the most people that way, and we're kind of a referral business. So, you know, you find out about us and you send your friend in, and you know, just like I made it on here with a referral of a friend, and you know, John's been a client of mine for years, and you know, we've become friends, and I've been on his podcast, and he's bought tons of jewelry from me, and you know, I just it's a really nice community, and those referrals are kind of what drives us and keeps us in business, and it's been a really fun journey so far, and I feel like we're just getting started.
That's exciting, man. That's awesome. You know, we'll include your business in the show notes below. Anything you want, we'll include it down there. If you guys are watching, just scroll down. You know, you can find Avi. What was it? Bulow
Jewelers.
Bulow Jewelers. Great place here in Denver. You know, obviously you can go have a little
How's
bit.
that spelled really quick?
Bulow.
Bulow.
Yeah, Bulow Jewelers.
Bulow.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's your go-to jeweler here in Denver, guys.
Yeah, that's
You're
where I'm
gonna
gonna
go down
go.
there. You're gonna have a
Who's
glass.
Shane Company?
Yeah,
Who is that?
Forget your friend half mile east of
That's
Arapahoe.
right.
I'll tell you this: you can go have a bourbon downtown.
Yeah, for real.
That's right.
That's what's going on here, man.
Bulow, baby.
That's
That's
right.
the
Bulow.
spot where you get your personal touch on your personal wares while also tasting some of the best.
It's good bourbon.
Oh yeah, this
That's good
has
bourbon.
been a pleasure, man.
Like jewelry and drink whiskey at the same time.
That's what I do.
That's what he
That's
does,
what
man.
he does, man. This dude's a
I think
champ.
that's what guys need. They need to go somewhere and drink whiskey.
Dude's a
They're
champ.
buying, a really expensive brand.
That's what it has to happen, and that's what
That's right.
for
we
their significant other.
yeah, that's what Bulow Jewelers obviously captures.
Well,
Great stuff, man.
Yeah, we totally captured the organic conversation tonight. Everybody, we love you. We're doing a solo next week. We're excited to talk with y'all, and just keep it going. Let's keep growing in 2021. Kevin, wrap us up, man.
Look, man, this has been a good one. This is the longest episode we've ever done. First time experience drinking whiskey. Another great friend that we've just made.
So happy.
Man, thanks for being here, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks
This
for
was a lot
having
of
me.
fun. We're going to keep ripping, guys. It's 2021. A lot of things coming at us at a rapid pace. We're back with you next week. You guys, got to own it. You got to own it. We got to let it rip, tater chip. Let's just keep
Believe
grinding,
and
man.
achieve your goals.
Believe and achieve.
Go hard.
Go hard.
Go like Jamie does.
Do what Jamie does over there. He pops in, drinks
Jamie's
a little
been
bit of
doing
whiskey.
good. So I want to give Jamie a quick shout out. Dude, stop smoking cigarettes. Dude has cut down drinking during the week. That's not easy to achieve, man. Jamie's doing it. I want to give you a quick shout out, man.
He's doing that new year, new me kind of thing.
Yeah,
Good job, man.
It's
Yeah.
showing. Thank you.
for sure. You're looking good.
Much love, brother. We
Avi,
appreciate
we're
everything
so
you do.
happy you came in. We always have our guests back. You're coming back in here.
I would love to.
It'll
Yeah,
probably
let's
be
do
a lot of
for
fun.
3
man.
months or something, but
Yeah.
we're getting you back in for a repeat.
Yeah.
And
we'll
man,
do a
we
whole.
just wish
We'll
you
do a
best.
Weller lineup next time.
I want to
And,
be on when he comes on.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
do
of
a
course.
four-way. Yeah, we'll do a
course.
four-way set.
I
Yeah.
got another mic,
You got it. Well, thank you for having me. This is great.
Yeah, thanks for making time to come down, man. I know we had to move some things around. I'm glad that you overcame COVID and it didn't hit you too hard. Thanks for sharing some delicious whiskey with us. Thanks for what you do for the Denver community. Man, this is fun.
Can I also plug? We're doing a blood drive.
Plug it.
So we're doing a blood drive through the store. We it's part of our community service, and we're doing a blood drive. So you could find that information on our website. So we're gonna do a blood drive. I'm blanking. I think it's February 10th. We're doing it, but we're gonna do it in the store location. There's a conference room in the building. Like I said, we're on the top floor, so this is going to be on the second floor. But so if you haven't given blood in a while and you would like to, there's a big need out there. And so if you have, especially if you're O type and that's really needed. So come on down and help us out and help the community.
Excellent. And we'll include that in show notes below.
Cool.
So that the listeners, the viewers, if you want that
So
link,
there's a link on your website
Yeah.
that we can find. Okay, maybe we just post that.
we'll
on
include that in there, man.
Yeah.
We'll get people heading your way.
Perfect.
And man, what a great night. Thanks so much for being here, brother.
Absolutely.
Let's do this again soon. For sure. I enjoyed the whiskey. We enjoyed the beers. Always a great time, man.
Best listeners in the business. We love you.
No question about it. We'll see you guys back here next week. Y'all be good to yourselves. You deserve it.